provides access to safe and effective medication, FDA approved for the treatment of alcohol issues. A daily pill proven to reduce alcohol cravings and make it easier to drink less or quit.
To join the thousands who are drinking less or who have quit altogether, text CHECK to 710-710. You'll be sent a secure link to Or Health's private online assessment. If treatment is right for you, a licensed medical professional will prescribe medication for discreet and convenient delivery to your door. Just text CHECK to 710-710. That's CHECK to 710-710.
Not available in all states. For SMS terms, privacy policy, risk, and restrictions, please go to orhealth.com/terms. Use as directed.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. The beauty of being here yesterday on Labor Day, I say it many times, that's the time when news breaks. If you were listening yesterday or you saw on Twitter, and thanks to Dan, too, because I was interviewing people at that point, he put up on Twitter, this needs to be investigated. And Dan, I think that tweet has the most page views of any in recent memory. We're talking about the fact, and I noticed people coming into Twitter, the mob, the Democrat mob, they can't take it. You guys are snowflakes. Me, you. Because we're concerned about how this all happened with the fake ad, even though there is a slight connection that we're looking at, because I know some of you are big fans of Laura Lomer. Give it a rest. But she did track down some information here.
Oh, yeah, you truly feel.
Yeah. She did track down some information here. We have her information. We can get her on in a heartbeat, but I don't want to go there. I think this needs to be the Steve Keeley approach, the Linda Kearns approach, who we had on yesterday about the Eagles ads. And the thing that we're asking that these morons don't get, it's not to me about the Eagles. That's way down on the list. And it appears now that whoever did this, another highlight Dana and I talked about yesterday, apparently you can get any kind of key anywhere, like with the check washing, breaking into mailboxes. Somebody apparently, it seems to be, broke into with some key to put this poster or these posters up in these SEPTA boxes. Now, they assure us that even though this ad company owns those spaces, they go through a rigorous look at the ads they're going to put up there. The connection to the Eagles, Dan, is this Christian guy who on his Twitter now, he's removed all replies. He went after people concerned about this ad, and he now has taken down all those replies, and he touts himself on Twitter as connected to team relations with the Eagles. I don't understand why the Eagles said they're talking to their advertising partners about this. I really don't quite get that connection. And, of course, this was done on Labor Day. You know, in Philadelphia with the unions, no one, a typhoon could hit downtown Philadelphia. Nothing's happening. We'll get to that on Tuesday. That doesn't matter no matter what you do.
Bleed green.
Yeah, they did that, absolutely, and they tapped into the Holy of Holies, the Eagles, who have a rocky history with President Trump. several of these sports snipers who are really liberals, Dan, are putting up links and going back to articles they wrote when the Eagles essentially refused in 2017 to go to the Trump White House. They're accusing Trump of papering the house at the White House with fake Eagles fans. Here's what we're concerned about. I'll speak for myself. I think Dan was in on this, and Linda Kearns will be back with us at 1 o'clock, our election integrity expert. She found out about this, was investigating when we got her on yesterday. Where is Al Schmidt? Now, Dan's trying to get him on. No response yet, Dan.
Nope.
Okay, now when we're over Channel 6, he was fine with it. I'll treat him civilly. He is the Republican. You know the whole thing, 2020.
Is he still with the Committee of 70 or whatever it is?
No. He's the Secretary of State.
I know he is, but you think he's still associated with them at all?
Not that I know of.
Oh, okay.
An all-time fraudulent organization. All-time fraudulent. They're up there in the top 10.
And I asked not just to remind, I asked because it's one of the contacts I have, so I didn't know.
Okay, it's the Secretary of State's office. He's the critical guy that could help determine this election, you got to remember. So we're concerned that Al Schmidt has not taken, this is going national. We know the Jesse Waters show will be doing it tonight probably, just as an example. And it's gone national, and Al Schmidt still hasn't told us anything about misinformation, disinformation. We're going to get to the bottom of this. It's on a SEPTA site. They own that stuff. There is tape of this, of who did it. Was it a street artist? Was it some other entity? We're sick and tired of being lectured to about disinformation, misinformation. By the way, Dan, you and I differed a little bit yesterday, but it ties in where the Eagles are going, Brazil. And this dispute with Elon Musk clearly is about they did not like so-called right-wing hate speech and misinformation. And Elon Musk was not going to cater to them by taking down the people that were taken down. And it seems to be that Twitter used to do this in Brazil. In other words, they played ball. Elon Musk will not do it now. So I don't buy that it's more that he just won't have a legal representative there. He's not going to comply with this, is what it's about. And this authoritarian spirit on the left that we're seeing play out, you probably remember, we talked about it, that Josh Shapiro months ago brought in Homeland Security, National Guard. He's going to be all out there. We're going to squelch anything you try to do to ruin this election. Well, the question is, where are they now? I talk about this all the time. If I were Secretary of State or governor, I would use this as a prime example and say, this is disinformation. This is misinformation. Now, do I really think there are idiots out there that thought the Eagles did? Yes! Because on Twitter, they're continuing to tell Dan, by extension, and me, this is fake, or the others, I can't root for the Eagles now. So, yes, I do believe they think it's real. Would that sway their vote? It's almost unimaginable. We live in a country where that would. But who knows? But the point is, one of the guys who could have done this, allegedly, has put up similar artwork that's anti-Trump. And they were smart enough to do it on Labor Day, knowing on Labor Day, heck, they could have done it on Saturday. It'd still be up there this morning. So where's the urgency to lecture about misinformation, disinformation? Linda Kearns will be here to give you the latest at 1 o'clock on this. It's a good thing to use to push back, because every time we raise an objection, we're told there's nothing to see here. Just on Friday at Mulligan's, you may not have been listening to the show yesterday. Dan monitoring, and right in the middle of Mulligan's with all these great guests, that this Commonwealth Court in Pennsylvania says some people are too stupid to put the date on the envelope in their mail-in ballot, so we're going to count it anyhow. And then we're supposed to not say, no, that's judicial activism. That's the legislature. The legislature gets to set the regulations on voting, not you. They're saying, no, we're going to win. That's what we're going to do. We have these dopey Republicans, Jubileer, one of the Republican weasels on the Commonwealth Court, and Democrats, and we have enough votes, and we're just going to say this is unconstitutional. You can put down anything or don't put down anything. We're going to count your vote. How do you like that? And we're supposed to just take it. So when they do something like this, what should they not get to the bottom of the person that did it? Should they not be prosecuted? But that's the small fish. That's small to me. The big fish here are Josh Shapiro, Al Schmidt, and the media. The media, some of them, it's a joke. You know what they're on today, softening up the battlefield, the Philadelphia Inquirer? They're back to telling us, well, the election's probably not going to be decided in Pennsylvania on election night. How many times have we been through this? The legislature has invested millions and millions of dollars to say, you keep counting, tag in another team, but you keep counting. Some places have invested in equipment that's more sophisticated, faster to count. Why is Philadelphia now again? Why are they not? Because they don't want to. The suspicion is they want to see what the result is, and then they'll give you the result to win. Now, that seems far-fetched. They refuse to go with voter ID. The reason why we don't open ballots before Election Day is because I know exactly what they'll do. Democrats will take the results, and they'll be ahead in mail-in ballots. They'll put that out there, and you know what they're trying to do. They're trying to depress you from voting, thinking, oh, man, Tom, we're already 400,000 down. They'll inflate it. Tell them anything. The media will run wild with it. All the mail-in ballots indicate it's going to be an uphill battle for Trump. Meanwhile, people are saying, oh, man, looks like we lost again. No. Open them at 7 a.m. Start counting. If you don't have enough people and machines, go and get them. They're softening the battlefield up for this. And then we're supposed to say, oh, everything is fine. It's not fine. This is where the fight is. And I'm here to tell you people like Linda Kearns. Oh, wait a minute, Dan, you have a news update here. Don't play your sounder. That's okay.
No, that just came in earlier, and I meant to give that to you. Yes. The dating mail-in ballot case that we're talking about here, the Black Political Empowerment et al. Versus Schmidt et al. Has been appealed to the Supreme Court by the RNC. A notice of appeal was filed yesterday, and the case is going to move quickly due to the times for election appeals.
It will move quickly. Excellent. Yes. Here's what's going to happen. The Supreme Court, 6-3 at least, is going to say, get out of here. You got to be kidding me. Of course the legislature has the right. Linda Kearns told us yesterday, Dan, I remember this. One of the reasons why they want the date on there, they're trying to facsimile to do what it's like when you go to vote. When you go to vote, you have to show up in appointed hours. You have to sign. You have to go to a polling place. You have to follow the directions. Why do these mail-in people say, what the hell? I'll put this on the back of anything you want. There's my vote. Now take it. That's what Democrats want. Lazy voters. So she'll be here to break that down at 1 o'clock. But 855-839-1210. Of course, on Twitter, the argument of the other side is when we say investigate this, don't you guys have anything? It's a joke. Everything's a joke. Imagine now if the Trump people had put these up, that the Philadelphia Eagles, would they sue entities, the Eagles? What are they going to do about it? All right, let me give you the side question, too. And Dan, DJ may call in, so be ready. I'm not sure he's working. So on Saturday night, DJ got tickets, and the guy he knows, these are great seats. I mean, they may be only 5 rows up, right behind home plate. Not exactly behind it, but just to the left of it, a hair. It's the 1%. Well, the 1%'s in front of you. There's a bar.
How'd you get these seats, I want to know?
DJ.
Yeah?
You know how he is with people. Yeah, they take to him. Here's 3 or 4 times a year we get to sit there. All right. So we go and get a pretzel for Roe. Have to put in a box. Can you give me a box? I'm taking it home to her. And I get peanuts. The peanuts will come up in the story a little bit later. We come back, and I recognize it right away, or I believe, in front of us, because there was an open seat in the 4th row right in front of us. Next to this couple is the owner of your Philadelphia Phillies, John Middleton. He's got a Phillies belt on, the shirt. He looked like John Middleton to me. I've seen him. And this guy could not have been more impressive. an owner actually sitting there chatting with fans. So, of course, even though I'm closer to him than DJ gets the first words in. And the guy keeps on turning back and conversing with him for the next 7 innings. Oh, my God.
Poor guy.
Yes.
Middleton's trying to escape. He's like, let's go to the concession stand.
Yeah, no, people coming up from pictures, and those that were in the 1% rows.
So, like, not one sliver of, like, I'm over this. He was, like, just enjoying it the entire time.
God. And the most endearing thing John Middleton did, and if he's listening, please call in. He took this kid that was seated right next to me. He was with his father. He could have been 9 or 10. When you're standing for the last out, that moment of suspense, the kid couldn't see. The kid didn't say anything, but Middleton was sensitive to it, took him and put him right there in the aisle, right at the top of the thing, the best seat in the house, so the kid could see. That went so far with me. Cool. Yeah, this guy is a good owner. This guy really gets it, and apparently he doesn't sit in the 1%. He walks all over the ballpark and says, mind if I can sit down? Dan, you're under some pressure when the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles. What are you going to be, George Costanza, like with Steinbrenner? I would trade Bryce Harper right now. You're going to start like that. So the couple was more.
So was he like giving him advice or asking?
No, he was showing pictures to them of his grandkids. Now, the guy got carried away. The guy stood up, ball's going to Rojas, maybe 350 feet away, a pop-up. When it got to about 300 feet, the guy's standing up and applauding. He hasn't caught the ball yet. He's all red in the face screaming, good catch. But what an enjoyable thing. So here's the thing. Side question today is not a run-in with a celebrity where you knew the celebrity was going to be there. You go to one of these Comic-Con events or something like that. But something where a celebrity of some note just pops up. Now, the other night, Dan, I go to the Bob Kelly thing, his thing at the Seaport Pier.
Yep.
I'm in the bathroom, just ready to wash my hands with another guy. He goes, I hate to bother you in the bathroom, but aren't you Dom Giordano?
Hey!
No, never heard of the guy. He was nice about it. He didn't ask
Did you actually say
anything.
no, never heard of him?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But you can't shake hands there.
Are you wondering, are you conservative or liberal? How do I answer this question?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So give us that run-in with a celebrity. By run-in, I don't mean bad. I mean good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
Where the celebrity was like, oh, my God, that's Dan Borowski at Mulligan's, or And it doesn't have to be huge. It could be any level of celebrity. I don't know the biggest one I've ever run into because in this job, they're there, you see them. But sometimes even with that, Dan, it's, I know, 2. Cape May has this Washington Square. It's beautiful, where all the shops are. And there is a mall area inside all these shops going up and down. So I kind of thought the Gottis, the grandsons of John Gotti, were in town. There's this leather shop there, and there's a guy with his back to these 2 young men looking out at the crowd. He's not doing anything but looking at us. It was the Gottis. Being Gotti was, no, I didn't go in there for an interview on that one. If I had my recorder with me, I might have tried. But can you imagine the Gottis in a leather shop? The other one is the time that we were in the spin room covering the debate between Hillary Rodham Clinton and Barack Obama. And I said, is that M. Night Shyamalan? And we gave chase, and he ran out of the convention center. He didn't want to be interviewed. Thought I was going to be in a film or something. How about you? Is there any time a celebrity you didn't know it was coming necessarily, and bang, it was there?
Well, I had a lot of them at Howard Stern when I was working there.
Yep.
But it kind of like fits into the narrative of, you're kind of expecting it. One of them that before Howard, a person that grew up on, I grew up on their street because they're older, but they used to play at all our block parties just as an unfamous musician, later came to become a very widely known prominent musician. That's what you hear behind us, Amos Lee.
Ah, yeah. I remember that. You told us.
Yeah, grew up across the street from him. Another one, I'm down in Margate at the Wawa. A couple guys behind me, starts, kind of a buzz starts, growing, and I look behind me, I see some giant, curly, Auburn locks on a guy, and it's Scott Hartnell of the Flyers. And just shaking everyone's hand, the nicest guy in sandals, khaki shorts, just hanging out there on a beach town. Really cool to see. And then finally, Dom, this is one at Howard Stern. I don't want to give the name of the rapper, but a very prominent rapper. I walk into the men's bathroom, and there's almost a plume of marijuana smoke as I open the door. And you see two really tall guys kind of peek over the handicap stall and look at me as I walk in, right? And I go use the urinal, and then I go wash my hands, and out walks this very prominent rapper who's much shorter than these two other gentlemen who's hanging out in the handicap stall. And you could totally tell that they're smoking a marijuana blunt there in the bathroom. Just looks at me in the face as we're washing hands and says, "We cool?" Yeah, we're cool.
No, I'm going to call the Dom
Giordano. No neck guys right behind you.
I'm going to call the Dom Giordano show on this. Well, unexpected, Dan, since you mentioned that, where violence could happen. I was supposed to interview Big P word. Yeah, blank that. Yeah. I was told you can say that in this kind of. I won't though. Yeah, Big P from The Sopranos after he had been knocked off. And I knew he'd probably have hard feelings, so I really researched him and talked about some of his other roles, if you can imagine. He doesn't like it. And I found out he's getting paid $15,000. So, Dan, in the middle of the interview, I go, is something wrong here? And that sets it off.
No.
His son, like a bowling ball head in about 5'9", 220, with the chest hair open to here, starts standing behind me. I can feel him breathing on me. And all I had was another chair beside me that I thought I could reach. This is at the home show in Philadelphia. Like 200 people are crowding in on us. Thank God security got in. Now, if you had been the producer that day, I'd have no worries.
I'm running away. You kidding
that's
me?
Right. Yeah,
I'm not dealing with Big P. Don't know how connected he actually is.
He wasn't bothering me. It's the son with his head right on my neck back there. And I wish I had that tape on the air, Dan. You can hear some of it. It's pretty strange. Like, what's the problem here?
Listen to him. He knows everything.
Oh, my God. That's why they knocked him off, Dan. That's why they knocked him off.
Yeah.
All right, 855-839-1210.
I'd be intimidated.
Hit us with this. It came out of the blue. And give me a reaction to this whole deal now. They want to blow it away as a joke. Why are you people getting so upset? Two reasons. We're sick and tired of these progressives in the media lecturing that everything is disinformation, misinformation. No matter what information you provide them, they're going to laugh at it because they just want to win. They don't care how they cheat, how they bend the rules, whatever they do. The other is Al Schmidt. I looked an hour ago. I didn't see it on the state website, any information. We're watching for disinformation, misinformation. We're going to follow this case. Hey, Al, come on the show. Be treated civilly. You know that. I'm just going to ask you, isn't this a great example to make people aware and to say we're not standing for this because there could have been laws that were broken here in doing this? That makes sense? Yeah, Dan.
Before we go to break, are we only looking for positive interactions with celebrities randomly?
Negative are fine.
Negative or two?
Yeah.
Okay, as well.
Like, you can imagine Jack Nicholson gets in a fender bender in Hollywood and comes out with a golf club after the guy. I don't know if he went into the trunk for it or not.
Yeah, yep.
Hey, aren't you Jack Nicholson? Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people around the New York area have stories about Alec Baldwin, right?
Yeah, several. At any moment, he could surface. All right, 855-839-1210. How about the guys that hit Dom Giordano with a golf ball? You think they're telling people? Oh, they're probably saying, I hate that guy. Trump,
he's a
that Trump
person.
guy, right? They should have got him in the head, should have shut him up, hit him in the mouth. Is that it? All right. 855-839-1210. You get on board. Jump in now. Make your call on Talk Radio 1210.
Schools are opening. Labor Day weekend has passed. But we're not ready to say goodbye to summer just yet. So join Rich Scioli at his happy place, the Grand Hotel in Cape May. Be there this Friday, September 6th from 3 till 7 for great fun and guests as we hold on to summer just a little longer. Rich Scioli's at the Grand Hotel in Cape May this Friday, 3 till 7 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You're driving along when you realize...
Oh, I've got to get over.
Oh my gosh, sorry!
You didn't see him, did you? He was in your blind spot. You can also have a blind spot when it comes to your retirement. That's where Joe Yakovich of JML Financial Group comes in. He knows about a little blind spot called taxes. Social Security, your pension, your investments, all can be taxable. Look, you don't want to end up saying,
Will I be writing huge checks to the government when I retire?
Don't get blindsided by taxes. Make sure your retirement plan has a tax plan with one call to JML Financial Group, 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. Or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company. JML Financial Group does not offer legal or tax advice. Please consult the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstance.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever. Overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control, we'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
Tired of hearing scary ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. We may be able to significantly reduce and even eliminate what you owe to the IRS. Taxpayers should know. Huge savings are now being made available through the Fresh Start program that can drastically reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. Even if you haven't filed your taxes in years or are facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, or under audit, we can help. We've earned over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today. To see what savings you may qualify for, visit us online at TRA.com or call us at 800-511-0379, 800-511-0379. Again, that's 800-511-0379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Hey, Joe. All right, time to Giordano show. So this chance meeting on Twitter, Michael Siders, all-time great, says, I saw Woody Allen on the street in New York City once. I walked by him. I said to him, these pretzels are making me thirsty. I don't know what Woody said. He seems like a sourpuss. I don't know that he would engage with that. So John Middleton. Got to get him on the show, Dan. I know we'd have to go through a heck of a bureaucracy. Oh. The Seinfeld reference, I was eating the peanuts and some of them got stuck on my shirt when I shook his hand. But what are you going to do?
That's bad.
Well, I made sure that none of them, I wouldn't do it anyhow, Dan, but I got every peanut shell back into the little bag, you had. I had none on the floor.
Really?
Yeah, well, you can't be. People got to clean up your mess.
And you got the owner sitting in front of you. You don't want to, leave peanuts
Exactly.
behind,
I'm not leaving peanuts behind. If they're on my shirt, I brush them into the thing. I'm fine with that. So last night we did our fantasy football. Luke did an unbelievable job.
Yeah?
Oh, my God. This is ghetto life.
Where's the hype level for Dom Giordano? Are you actually looking forward to this, or is this something you're being forced to do?
No, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a bit of fun, but more show fodder that will be extraordinary.
So have you ever entered into the world of fantasy, or is this the first foray?
Yeah, yes. Well, I'm married to Ro. That's a world of fantasy, but yes. It's the first foray into this, and it's just a family thing, so it's not quite like yours, but...
Is it 10-man, 12-man?
I think there were 12 people
ultimately.
That's
a good size. It's the best size, in my opinion.
And then the two wives, they're like co-captains of a team. There's all kinds of things, and most of the people weren't there. It was all online, and about 6 of us were there for a DJ birthday party. So, yeah.
How was that?
Good.
Yeah?
But... Yeah, your Steinmead's. I wanted to mention that, Dan, because somebody just sent me this. ESPN will not allow you on their fantasy. They do a really nice job, including the music coming up when it's your turn. I don't know. You probably didn't use that. You did your own. Yeah. Did you do your own?
No, we did it on an app called Sleeper that I'm very fond of.
They will not allow White Lives Matter to be a team name. ESPN.
I think that's fair. Maybe no political statements.
Black Lives Matter is allowed as a team name.
Well, never mind then.
So the compromise would be, all right, they think that's too racial or something. How about All Lives Matter? Can you put that down as a team name? I mean, come on. As long as the team name is not directly racial, Nazi stuff or whatever, how is it, again, even with something this much fun, I have to admit, after the 5th round, I would defy anybody. You have to be a get-a-lifer if you know most of these players, say after your 5th pick or so. I can't imagine it. It's just constant running backs and wide receivers. I didn't even know the kicker I got. I just realized at the end, I had to get a kicker.
You didn't get Harrison Butker?
No.
Oh.
Somebody picked him just before I wanted Harrison Butker.
You know they did that. They saw a conservative radio host coming up with Harrison Butker on the board, and they're like, I'm not letting that guy get that guy.
I really wanted to get Buck. And who did I got Stroud as the quarterback, which was a late round, and that guy, I think, could be really good.
Yeah, CJ's going to be good. Yeah. He had a great season last year.
That's the only political pick. I was going to pick Harrison Butker for obvious reasons. Okay. 855-839-1210. Now we're going to have a special guest at, that's right, yeah. We have Tim Murtaugh coming up, Trump Operation Communications, but a lot of Pennsylvania knowledge. But at 2 o'clock, we're going to have with us a big guest, mystery guest for now, but involved with the big story here in Philadelphia with this whole billboard thing. So I can't say yet. I don't want to.
Don't jinx it.
2 o'clock today. I'll ask Tim Murtaugh as it bubbled up to the Trump level there. Can you imagine Trump at a rally talking about this, Kamala Harris with an Eagles helmet? Trump ought to come out with an Eagles helmet on. Now that would be entertainment. Come on now, you know you love it.
Yes.
Yes. And a jersey. I don't know what number he would take. 855-839-1210. We'll talk with Tim Murtaugh from the Trump campaign coming up. Hey, you've heard me talk a lot about FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sports book. Well, we have something a little bit different for you now through September 22nd. All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you're able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account, current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to download America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT at B21 Plus, President, Pennsylvania. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-511-3535. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider, 800-511-3535. That's 800-511-3535. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-511-3535.
Crash Proof Retirement records all financial meetings. All promises made in recorded financial meetings become legally binding between Crash Proof Retirement and the investing client. Crash Proof Retirement provides all of their clients with a certificate of authenticity, further documenting that recording financial meetings brings fiduciary responsibility to the highest level.
Jack Gunning from Bluebell, Pennsylvania. I don't know whether anybody can offer you the security that Crash Proof Retirement does. I have this certificate that tells me they're a fiduciary. Everything is recorded and they have your best interest at heart. That certificate is 100% documentation that you know what they're saying is 100% correct. Other companies don't have this guarantee. This certificate means an awful lot for me, and it should mean an awful lot for you.
Certify your retirement future. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, time to Giordano show. Let's welcome back Tim Murtaugh with the Trump team 2024 with a lot of Pennsylvania knowledge. Think fracking. Think how apparent Kamala Harris is and our suspension of disbelief. You know, every great writer says, you have to suspend your belief entering a movie theater. With Kamala Harris, we have to do that on public streets. So welcome to Philadelphia and the fracking issue here, Tim, across the state. I'm sure you've seen some of the figures. They are unimaginable how gigantic this is.
Yes, it is gigantic, and it's good to be with you again, Dom. Thanks very much for having me. Fracking, or the process by which they pulled natural gas and oil out of the ground in many cases in some parts of the country, including Pennsylvania, is a huge economic driver where the occurs.
All right, little issue here, Dan, have put on hold. And all right, we'll square that up with Tim Murtaugh here on Talk Radio 1210. You know, we're getting in the zone of the debate, and I have a question, see what Tim thinks after we clear up the connection here. But fracking, even though it's only a few states that are battleground, is apparent. But sorry about that, Tim. Go ahead now. Give us your sense of fracking and how this plays out.
Oh, hey, Dom. Sorry about that. Yeah, thanks for having me back on again. I appreciate that. Fracking, I don't think, can be overstated about how important this is to Pennsylvania and some other states as well, but particularly in Pennsylvania. And that's where we're going to focus on this as a huge issue. Kamala Harris has an absolutely god-awful record on fracking, and it's kind of a strange word. I don't know if everybody understands it, but it's the process by which you pull natural gas and oil out of the ground in some cases, and Pennsylvania is absolutely a leader in this. And Kamala Harris has been adamantly, vehemently, demonstratively opposed to fracking. She supports a national ban on fracking. And get this, here's one that they don't tell you about very much. On her last day, when she was the Attorney General of California, she sued the Obama administration to try to get them to stop fracking off the coast of California. That's how deeply she hates the entire industry and therefore, by extension, everyone who works in it. She sued Barack Obama to stop fracking. So when she runs around Pennsylvania these days and tries to convince people, oh, no, I'm not an enemy of your livelihood, it's a lie. Don't believe her. She has a decades-long record of opposing the very thing that puts food on the table of a lot of Pennsylvanians. Don't let her escape from what her true record really is. Her whole campaign is one big piece of fiction. That's how she's running.
Absolutely. Now, when we get into this, over the weekend, several people saying this. It's an obvious thing, but boy, this is the first time in American history that you have the person standing there who skipped the 4 years, the Biden years, in Trump, other than if Grover Cleveland were standing there, to say, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? I think it has added power. I don't think it's hackneyed or anything else. How in the world would she be able to answer that? So, Tim, do you think that's a possibility that President Trump would use that and argue that's a good way to argue I'm not just some guy saying it. Look at this record versus now. Which one's better?
Yeah, exactly right. I think that this entire the framework of this entire election sets up very favorably for Donald Trump, because the fact is every single person who votes in this election in November has lived through both administrations. They've lived through the Trump administration and they've lived through the Biden-Harris administration. It's a very easy comparison to make. And even Harris knows it. You know, she's made these speeches where she talks about how much more a loaf of bread costs, how much eggs, how much milk costs, how much gas costs. Your heating bills, your air conditioning bills, no matter where you are in the country, it doesn't matter if your expenses are through the roof. She has no choice to acknowledge that. But somehow she has to pull off this trick where she acts like she's an outsider and has not been vice president for 3.5+ years while all of this has been going on. So it absolutely sets up, like she has to run from her record on fracking in Pennsylvania. She also has to try to somehow convince everyone that for the last 3.5 years, she has also not been the vice president of the United States, and nodding along in agreement and making speeches bragging about the effectiveness of Bidenomics. Of course, now she wants nothing to do with any of that. And it's a really hard thing to have to not only run against your own record, but also try to escape what you've been doing for 3.5 years, which puts you in the position to try to run this way anyway. She cannot be allowed to position herself as an outsider when she's been working in the White House for the last 3.5 years, helping to craft these god-awful policies that are putting everybody in the poorhouse.
Now, the debate, of course, is big, but before the debate, Tim, it's pretty clear the election, the convention bounce was not there, particularly Pennsylvania was the biggest non-bounce for Harris. This plays into, and we'll see over the next week or so, the narrative that the more you see her, the more the bloom is off the rose, very similar to when she ran for president.
Yeah, this is like an exact duplicate of what happened in 2019. And when she ran for president on her own for the 2020 Democratic primaries, remember that she was forced to quit the race for lack of support, inability to fundraise, the whole bit. She was down to zeros all the way across the board. She quit before it was even 2020. She withdrew from the race in December of 2019, and we see this happening again. Her best days of this campaign are already behind her. In fact, if you look at it polling-wise, I believe that she peaked actually before the Democratic National Convention. In the end, I believe that the sugar high of the cheerleading from the national media will actually work against her, because people were sold this idea of a candidate, and then once they actually see her act, they think, this is what they tried to sell me as a legitimate shot at running for president? No. So I think you've already seen it. It's tailing off. We've already hit the peak. And I do want to mention something about Tim Walz and how he runs around, embellishing his record both on military service, but also as a high school football coach. He introduces himself as a high school football coach, and he talks about how he turned around a losing team and took him to the state title. Now, in Pennsylvania is one of those states where high school football is king in a lot of cities, right? Like Texas and Florida, Oklahoma also, Ohio. Pennsylvania is right there. High school football, very, very important. I grew up in Delaware County. I know how important high school football is. You tell somebody, hey, I coached my high school team to the state title, they're going to think you were the head coach. Now, when he tells somebody that, and then later on they find out he was an unpaid volunteer assistant coach, well, then they're going to know that he tried to
Oh, wait a minute, Tim. I didn't know that. I thought the big lie he was getting away with was the head coach. Then I thought maybe he was the defensive coordinator, but he was an unpaid volunteer coach.
Yeah, unpaid volunteer. And I don't know what he might have run the defense. I don't know.
Well, wait a minute, Tim. My researchers are going there, and Dan, you're looking at it. They scored 40 points a game against him. No, we're just making that up against Wolves. We got to research that. Yeah.
Look, when you tell people who are like high school football fanatics, hey, yeah, I was the head coach, or I coached my team to the state title. You leave out details that you're letting them fill in their minds. You are leaving them with the impression on purpose that you're the head coach of that team. And he wasn't. He never was. So it's another thing where he's trying to embellish his record by kind of slipping it past people and hope they never catch him. But when they do catch him, they think, man, that guy can't be trusted. Why would he lie about that?
That's exactly right. Tim, where do people go for all things Trump? Where would you put people to volunteer, donate, anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, I think the most important things for everybody to check out is our social media, and that will guide you. So I would start at Trump War Room, and also, he's using it again. I would encourage people to check out Donald Trump's Twitter feed, which is @RealDonaldTrump, but also over on Truth Social. I think it's great, and I think that'll give you all the information, and really appreciate it. There's just more than 60 days left to go in this campaign, and I don't have to restate for you or your audience, Dom, exactly what's at stake here. But really, truly, the future of this country is going to be on the line in November, and we've got to get Donald Trump back in there because we have seen what the alternative is, and the alternative wants 4 more years. The alternative is not a fresh face. It is not turning the page. It's the same old junk. We've already seen it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tim. Anytime. Thanks for joining us today.
Yep, you bet, Dom. Thank you.
Tim Murtaugh from Delaware County, Trump Campaign 2024. Dan, an unpaid volunteer. I would have, I've often said that it's not just the skill of an attorney, these really big cases like the O.J. case. It was the researchers, the stuff that they were able to get in the defense of O.J. Simpson with money, resources, great people. I wonder what he coached defense. It'd be interesting to see how that worked. Unpaid volunteer coach. Not the head coach. 855-8. You guys are looking for anything. Come on now. Let's go and look at some more Kamala Harris ads there for the Eagles. All right. Side question today. John Middleton. I can't say enough good stuff. I think it's a rare owner that does stuff like that. Hit us with somebody unexpected. It could be a bad experience with a major celebrity, hopefully a good one. Now, Joe DiMaggio, Dan, I don't know. From what I've heard with the DiMaggio, Alan and Yardley might be bad. Alan, what happened with Joe DiMaggio?
Hey, Dom, I'm glad you shared a good experience with an owner. So my sister and I were in Trenton at Rossi's, iconic, in the Chambersburg section. And Joe DiMaggio was there, and we're eating dinner. And my sister goes, I think that's Joe DiMaggio. I don't know. Should I go up? So my sister goes up. He's eating his dinner, and he yells at her. He says, I'm in the middle of my dinner. Rah, 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 rah. And then, but, said, I'm not going to give you an autograph. So she comes back, sulking. But when he was finished his dinner, he did motion her over and signed her napkin.
Oh, well, that part, happy ending. Look, I'm not at a level, Alan, where Joe DiMaggio, it could be people bother you all the time, but you got to more gracefully try to.
I don't know. I kind of like the move.
You do?
Yeah, I mean, as long as he, on the way out was like.
He could say, can I sign it after dinner? I promise I'll come over and sit down. Something like that after I finish eating.
He was definitely nasty, but here's the thing. He was in a small family-owned bar in Chambersburg section of Trenton. It's not like he was with all these other people. I mean, just be a nice guy.
Alan, I actually have audio of when you guys approached Joe DiMaggio. You want to hear that?
Yeah.
Get him out. Get him out of here.
All right, Alan, that is a good one. We're taking
part of that.
That is a bittersweet. He came at the end. Dan, there's a way to deal with that, though.
No,
I mean,
right.
you got to. And
I'm of the ilk, though. Like, if someone's enjoying a meal and they're famous, they deserve a right to a meal. Like, come on.
Yeah. The only thing is, I'd say Joe DiMaggio's reputation is really bad.
Yeah.
Oh, over the years, really bad. Oh, yeah. So that's why I thought, despite Seinfeld and Dinky Donut and all that stuff, it's not good. So that's why I say, come on, Joe. Just say you come over and sign it afterward. All right, 855.
Yeah, you're right. Like Gracie, like, hey, guys, I'm halfway through a meal here, but give me a little bit. I'll come by later. Yeah, rather than get the hell away from me.
Or you can do it quickly. Hey, what's your name? I'll sign the napkin.
Get him out. Get him out of here.
If you're in a place where there's like 500 people are going to come over then, the all-time best celebrity I've been around was Nick Foles. So much, Dan, when we did that speech series with him, we told him, Nick, you just got to go backstage afterward. Don't go near the stage that we were on. Oh, my God. He just walks out. Hi, folks. It was like, please. It was mayhem with him.
Michael says, Dom, thanks for the shout-out. You looked at me with scoring like I was a squeegee guy. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Oh, my God.
Who's he talking about there?
Woody Allen.
Oh, Woody Allen.
That fits, too.
Yeah.
That really fits.
Yeah, some great ones on Twitter, Dom. Here's a good one from Marcus. 1986, in college, a buddy and I walking down the street, Midtown Manhattan, we see Fred Gwynn, Herman Munster at a phone booth. As we approach, he turns to us in an intimidating voice, says, "I have no time for the Herman jokes today, boys." We sheepishly walk away.
See? Classy. Joe DiMaggio could learn something from that. I have no time today to sign your napkin. All right. Yeah, well, and DiMaggio, too, wanted to get paid. He was one of the autograph things going on, you know. So not all of them are and you got to realize, to Dan's point, maybe the celebrity's having a bad day. You know, something happened there a little bit. But 855-839-1210, you get in. All right, let's talk. School underway. Hectic schedules back. Football in full swing. Viewing parties and tailgates. All great reasons to call your nearest Captain Chucky's. Let them manage your meal planning. Get that all-new wild shrimp scampi ravioli. Chucky's teaming up with Vera Pasta, offering lobster, crab, and now wild shrimp ravioli. Remember, order the brand-new Bang Bang Jumbo Lump Crab Cake. That delicious, creamy, 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick, who those who like to spice it up with some heat. Rose's favorite. It's also the perfect time to realize Captain Chucky's has you covered with everything else. Desserts, sides, salads, appetizers. It's all there. Captain Chucky's, too. Huge array of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes. Their golf shrimp is always a huge hit. Great for football watching. Always wild caught, never farm raised. And you know my favorite, the Dom Rolls. You got to try them. And if you do, tell me what you think of them. Send me an email. Visit Captain Chucky's today. There's a location near you. Big coverage. Captain Chucky's. Go to WeLoveCrabCakes.com. WeLoveCrabCakes.com. Headed to the shore still. Visit Captain Chucky's at the shore.com.
High school football is back. High school football is back. And so is the Friday Night High School Football Scoreboard Show. Join Daryl Dobis, James Bailey, and Matt Dents. Friday nights 10 till midnight for a rundown of all the big high school games in the region and expert analysis. The Friday Night High School Football Scoreboard Show. Friday night at 10. Only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
The following is a paid commercial message.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Window Nation presents the 1210 WPHT Veteran Spotlight in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation. Listen the first Wednesday of every month as Kale and Company shines a spotlight on a local veteran, highlighting their remarkable commitment to the community and their exceptional service in the military. Presented by Window Nation. At Window Nation, there's nothing more important than giving back to the communities we serve. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Do you have a property that you no longer want? Maybe you inherited the property. Maybe you're underwater in the property. Or maybe you're just a tired landlord, tired of dealing with tenants. Listen, I can buy those properties, and I'll buy those properties fast. I can close in 2 weeks. I buy properties cash. My name is Larry Steinhaus. Give me a call at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I will personally answer the call. You can also visit easyOutRealEstate.com. Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus from Investor Schooling. Did you know I have a radio show every Saturday from 1 to 3? It's called The Larry Steinhaus Show, and it's sponsored by Investor Schooling. On this show, you will learn things about finances and things about money that you never knew before. But even more of a reason to listen to this show is how much fun we have. If you haven't heard the banter between me, Omri, and Dr. Deb, you haven't heard the greatest show on earth. Listen to this show this Saturday at 1 o'clock right here on WPHT, and I promise you will learn something.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. And one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
For the pulse of the city, even if it ain't pretty.
The Dom Giordano program.
On Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dan, I would enter into the contest on the side question today. The guy that you don't want to be a fellow celebrity near this guy because you're not going to be nicer and more energetic than Bob Kelly of Fox 29.
Oh, that was so...
You just can't do it. You should have seen him at the Seaport Pier where he does an event every Friday during the summer. When he jumped up, if you missed yesterday's show, spontaneously, maybe not, he was prepared for it, started hollering.
Hey, what is that again?
So everybody that's in the bar here at Mulligan's, the Seaport Pier, if you want to dance tonight, Seaport Pier, 5 to 8 o'clock, 22nd in the boardwalk.
Just at the beginning of the boardwalk.
It's right
at
there.
North Wildwood.
Watch the tram car, please. So
yeah, exactly. You know,
can I just do something real quick? Hold on, where's the bar? Everybody in the bar. Here's what I'd like to do. Can we buy a round for everybody in the bar? Here we go.
Oh, my God.
We're gonna buy a round.
Oh, Bob, you don't got to do that.
You can't come to an Irish.
That's a big TV.
Here we go.
Damn,
A round for everybody. Right there.
I got to ask Johnny, I didn't ask yet, can we tabulate the tab at Mulligan's at that exact moment of what the heck happened?
Buys an entire round.
How do you beat a guy like, oh, my God. He was just incredible. Bob Brady was also good, but I think he was scrambling to the bar. There was going to be a free drink.
Yeah, we got to emphasize
point.
what happened there. So we're just broadcasting, Dom, and a giant hush just comes over Mulligan's, and everyone's kind of looking around, and Anne Marie runs up, and she whispers in my ear, she goes, "You won't believe who just walked in." And I look to my side, and there is head of the Democrats, Bob Brady, and everybody in the bar, their eyes have, their gaze has gone from the Dom Giordano program over to this guy who's walking. It's like Bigfoot walked in. I mean that in a kind way.
Yeah.
And people are just watching this guy walk down, and he just gives you a stare. And we're wondering, what is the guy going to come on? You know, we have no idea. And I guess you guys have a long friendship. You guys differ very differently on political views, but you have a lot of respect for each other.
Yeah, it was. It's the magic of Mulligan's. Thank you to Johnny and Pam and the whole staff there. Boy, I wish we were there every week. It's that good.
It's so much fun.
And Joe Watson, again, we may do it someday, a handshake. I don't know how we'd calibrate that. But I would enter Joe Watson in a handshake contest. Your hand felt like this, and it was smooth, too. It was just
There really is magic in Mulligan's. We have Kelsey Grammer, and to take you behind the scenes, we had Kelsey, for a half hour? The guy then hops behind the bar, serves some drinks on his own accord, hangs around for a while, just drinking with people, and he's just, why? Because it was just such a great environment. And then Bob Kelly, just before he texts me, he goes, hey, I'm driving around. I'm in Avalon. Can you mind if I swing over? I go, Bob, come on, please. Yeah. I expected him to come in for an interview, 10 minutes, say hello. He hung out, Dom, till like 2:30, buying people drinks, hanging out with people. It's always that kind of environment. Everyone that always comes, Jeff Van Drew had such an amazing time. It's just,
that was one of the highlights.
It really is some kind of magic that anytime someone comes in for a short time. And finally, Joe Watson, he came in. We expected him just to, drop in, say hello. Guy sets up a table, puts his books up front, and the entire time you're looking over and Joe Watson's there hugging, taking pictures with people, hanging out with him. And it's just it's a magical environment in Mulligan's, and I can't wait till we do it again.
More to come. Thank you, Johnny. All right, coming up, the defensive coordinator. She was on the show yesterday. We were on this. What is the latest on this fake Fugazi Eagles signage with Kamala Harris? And what should be done about it? This shouldn't go away. Linda Kearns will be with us at 2 o'clock, a special guest around all this, and you're going to want to hear at 2 o'clock. And right now, the side question is great. This Marcus Aurelius, he was on a plane with Mike Farrell, who played B.J. Honeycutt in MASH. I really like the guy, Dan, because he came on several times. We're debating Mumia and capital punishment. Marcus says he was on a plane with him. Everything was going great. Said he was coming to Philadelphia to participate in an event to free Mumia.
Oh
my God.
Come on.
Oh, can I change my seat, Mike?
Oh,
God.
Yeah.
Don't ask stuff
That's
like
tough.
that.
Yeah.
855-839-1210. Get in now.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444.
The following is a paid commercial message. Bob Casey is lying to seniors. Listen to this whopper.
We're lowering prescription drug costs. Lowering prescription drug costs?
Not even close. Prices for medications are soaring. Casey's had nearly 2 decades in Washington. He hasn't fixed it. He's made it worse. Casey even voted for higher taxes on seniors' Social Security benefits. That's right, Casey pushed higher taxes on seniors. Casey also voted for a bill that could raise out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors. Seniors are already struggling with sky-high prices. But instead of helping, Bob Casey is trying to fool seniors and hide his failed record. Casey has had nearly 20 years in Washington. What's he given us? Higher costs and higher taxes. That's the real Bob Casey. He's wrong for Pennsylvania. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-246-0553. 800-246-0553. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-246-0553.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right. In a moment, we'll go to the woman who's going to win Pennsylvania and thus win the election for President Trump. She is the Pennsylvania Election Integrity Counsel for the RNC. But first, thanks. We're thanking so many people for mulligans. David of Trenton put up on Twitter, we thank him for the great food he brought us at Mulligan's. So There's a box of it.
This guy, I guess he grows his fresh tomatoes, Jersey tomatoes.
Unbelievable.
He brought us some fresh gravy, I guess. I'll be kind.
There you go. It's gravy, sauce. David. No. You got it.
Some tomato gravy, some fresh-made pasta. And the guy, he jars these jams and such. Yeah. And last time he gave us a mango pineapple jam that was really good. But the really standout of what this listener brought us, he brought us this apple pie in a jar that he made from scratch, and it is damn good. Like, he's got to sell this stuff.
Yeah, David, that's what you ought to be doing. That's what they don't get about talk radio. It's a club. How many years, how many times have I had to say that? He shows up with this big box at Mulligan's.
Such a nice guy.
On Friday. But he writes on Twitter, and I'll see if Linda has one, so give her a heads up here. She can be thinking, a celebrity you run into, you weren't planning a meeting. It's happenstance mainly. Oh, boy. He said, at a restaurant I worked in 85. Dan, talk about a grudge. That's gone back 43. Could that be possible? 43 years. Bruce Springsteen wouldn't give the owner's 12-year-old son his autograph. Springsteen forgot his credit card, so when he came back, did they let him go? Did he eat the meal? I met him and asked him why he didn't give the kid the autograph. So he said, okay. He offered me one, and I said, I'm not a fan.
Oh, my God. Oh, what a guy. You know, he says at a restaurant I worked in. I'm curious now. Is he some kind of chef? Because the stuff he put together is pretty good, yeah.
He's stiffing a 12-year-old kid with the autograph. That's my God. By the way, Dan, I realize media types, you got to talk to the people that are protesting. If they send me into New York with the pro-Hamas crowd, the interview I would do, there'd be mayhem right there. In the wake of killing these people mercilessly, they're clashing with the police at Columbia. Here we go. The only upside of this, get footage of it. That's what Kamala Harris is about. This is who they cater to, particularly with Michigan. All right, let's go to Linda Kearns, who was right on top of this big Eagles thing, which has gone national. We think Jesse Waters is covering it tonight with the fake Eagles set to stop, and I got a couple of other things. She was on, was it twice again yesterday, Danny?
Yeah, she's twice yesterday.
She's at the election integrity desk with a big Dom Giordano show sign behind her. Let's go to Linda Kearns. Hey, Linda, welcome back in. Thanks for taking time to join us.
Hi, Dom, and thank you for the nice things you say about my work. But we have an entire team in Pennsylvania, and they are amazing. And we're having a Protect the Vote event on Monday in person, September 9th, at the White Marsh Valley Event Center. And Chairman Watley and Pam Bondi are going to be in town again. So if any of the listeners want to sign up to go, please go to protectthevote.com, and it would be a great way to meet the other members of my team.
That's exactly right. But, yes, you were bolted to your desk. It doesn't matter. It was Labor Day. On Friday, we got you on as the other case was breaking. And, Linda, we're in contact with somebody that we'll have at 2 o'clock around this whole thing. What is the latest, or what do you see that went into this whole debacle?
Well, this whole Eagles fiasco with the sign at the bus stop that seemed to indicate that the Eagles endorsed Kamala Harris, it's resulting in people being outraged, and they are not outraged at Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing to come from it. But the solution to information that might be wrong or that we don't agree with is more information. And that's what the First Amendment is all about. And that nice American who was down there taping up signs spreading around the Eagles statement, that was more information.
Exactly.
And people who are going to vote, and people who are going to vote for Donald Trump, they understand that. And I know that we're talking about this word misinformation, but we're actually that's a word that the left came up with. It's a stupid buzzword term that the Democrats, the mainstream media came up with to force meme us to justify government interference in narratives. But the government should not be intervening in speech. And that's what's wrong with this entire Eagles fiasco, because as we both know, the Secretary of State has this fact-checking website, and he says we are committed to providing accurate, trustworthy information about election administration. So he fact-checks certain things. But who decides what is his misinformation or what's not, and what's important enough for him to put on his website? And that's the problem with government interfering in this.
Exactly. And also, to your point yesterday and my point, he doesn't have anything up on the state website today. If you want to have a teachable moment, this is a really good moment to say, here's how we're going to deal with stuff like this. Because of AI and everything else, there are going to be a lot of fakes. But Linda, I think, too, the person who did this, apparently, the ad agency seems to indicate, got the key to be putting these posters up in there, or had their own key made to do it. So, is somebody going to track that? There's got to be cameras, et cetera, and see who engaged in this. It's not their ability to do that, to start this wild goose chase off.
Right. And remember, both Al Schmidt and Governor Shapiro started an election threats task force, and their entire task force was supposed to combat misinformation and election interference. And Tom, I filed an open records request to find out about their meetings, about what they were doing, about the data that they were gathering, and I got back 150 pages from them. And almost all were covered in huge black lines. I couldn't even read it. 150 pages of redacted information. So they're starting this election interference task force, but not giving out the information to the public.
So wait a minute, Linda. What can you do next? Then I'm on to this because I'd like to see, and I bet 90% of it are against Trump and things of that nature. What can you do next when they redact everything?
Oh, I already appealed. Don't worry.
Okay. All right. Good.
I already appealed.
So.
Pending.
The game again.
Yeah. And I had reached out to the Philadelphia DA's office because they also talked about election interference. And I said in writing that we would be happy to partner with them. And I got back a letter saying that they are completely nonpartisan, so they can't partner with the RNC or give us a seat at the table, but they told me that they're going to investigate crimes involving election interference. So I'm going to follow up with the Philadelphia DA because this is apparently was a crime because somebody broke into that bus station glass and figured out how to put that poster up, and it was election interference because it was putting out information that would really sway voters or tell voters things that were completely incorrect. So I'll be following up with the DA's office.
Perfect. That's exactly, because I want to reinforce, as you know, with listeners who get depressed with everything. I mean, come on, grow up on this. This is a battle for our life of what you guys are doing. This is a perfect example right here. It's a good opportunity to call out Al Schmidt and the others. This is truly that word misinformation here. It's not a joke. Apparently, there was something criminal that went on. Linda, you made a great point, too, on Friday. Listeners may or may not be a holiday weekend with us. When this Commonwealth case came down, we just heard the RNC, and we believe notice of appeal that the Supreme Court will hear it. I guess that's the Pennsylvania Supreme. Dan, did they appeal to the Supreme Court of the United States?
No, it's Pennsylvania Supreme Court. I sent that to Dan.
Oh, you did.
So
okay,
our appeal was Yeah, our notice of appeal was due within 3 days because the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania shortened all the deadlines for these election matters. So our notice of appeal was due yesterday, and the brief, I believe, is due today. So we have lawyers working on that. So that's all in the works. And so that entire case where the Commonwealth Court said that forcing voters to date a ballot is unconstitutional, and therefore that the boards of elections still have to count those ballots, that entire case is being appealed.
I think I only predict here, put on my legal hat, Dan, for a moment, even though not recognized in Pennsylvania. Even the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, I could see a favorable decision here. At some point, people have to recognize the prerogatives of the legislature. But Linda, another point you made, and those in the media don't have it, they believe they won, that every county in Pennsylvania has to follow this case now. You made the point it was Philadelphia and Allegheny County that were involved in this. So this doesn't speak to mandatorily, even if this is the law, right, that other counties have to do this.
That's another big problem with this decision. This judge issued an order, but the only parties in the case were Al Schmidt, the Secretary of State, and Allegheny and Philadelphia. So none of these other counties had a chance to participate or be involved, and that just goes to the more election chaos in Pennsylvania. So the Supreme Court's going to hear this, and I absolutely hope that they do the right thing, because asking someone to date a ballot is not an unusual burden. And do we really want everyone to return their ballots with that not filled out? I mean, we've already diluted the signature requirements in that they don't really let us check to see if the signatures match the signature on file. So do we really just want people to just return undated ballots? I mean, would you return your ballot and not dated? No, you want to fill it out and date it so that you know when you signed it, they know when you signed it. I mean, it's part of the process.
Absolutely. One other area to inquire, softening up the battlefield again. We can't possibly, big column today, have all the votes counted by election morning, something like that, the next day or even that night. And all that money that was put in, Linda, to my understanding, you're the expert, though, on this probably. There's new machinery. Some of these counties are saying they think they're going to be able to handle this. They're going to tag in another team to keep counting. All that money that was spent, it's to avoid this excuse, we can't get it done.
Right. So remember, and I've told your listeners before, that Philadelphia accepted the grant money, so they have to count 24/7. They can't stop. And in 2020, they did stop. They stopped pretty frequently, and that's one of the reasons it took so long. And it is true that they have new machines. They know what they're doing. We already had one of the lawyers on our team, Joe DeFelice, he's often on your show. He went down and he looked at the setup, so we know what the setup looks like. And Dom, we really had a lot of mail-in votes in 2020. Of all of the votes returned in 2020, it was about 38% were mail-in. But that number has really very steadily ticked downward for every election. The next year for the Supreme Court race, it was about 26%. The next year it was about 22%. Only 17%.
Yeah, Linda, a little break. Okay, there are the gremlins. Linda, you finished. So it's ticking down, but for this presidential election, don't you think it'll exceed 2020? Okay. That's weird. Gremlins in the system again. We'll put her on hold, and we'll get a shot to it's 2 out of 2 today. All right, Linda, are you there? Okay, Dan, it's okay.
Yeah, that's weird. That's something I haven't experienced before.
All right, 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. Just push pound 1210. So those are a few of the things here. We'll give Linda a chance to finish up, and I'll ask her if she ever ran into a celebrity here on Talk Radio 1210 with Dom. All right, Linda, you were saying, don't you think, I'm asking, though, that it might tick up this time, the mail-in ballots?
Oh, I think it will tick up, but I'm not sure if it's going to tick up to the high that we had in 2020, and then combine it with the 24/7 counting, the better machines, and they know what they're doing. It probably will. You know what? Voters have to be confident. Voters have to get out there. I can't have any of this as an excuse for voters to stay home. voters have to cast their vote, make sure their family and friends cast their vote, go to protectthevote.com so that they can poll watch, go to TrumpForce47.com, which is a way that we can get out the vote. That's really important for voters to do.
I don't care. There's no excuse. Whatever they say, you ought to be more angry at anything you hear like that. Treat it as what they're trying to do, trying to depress the vote. Go out and vote. Grab every person you can that you think is going to vote the right way and take them there to vote. Linda, side question today. We had the experience of John Middleton, owner of the Phillies, plopping down next to us or right in front of us at the Phillies game the other night. He roams the stadium talking to fans. What an unbelievable guy this was. Ever run into a celebrity when you weren't expecting it? Who was it and what was it like?
Well, Tom, I spend my entire time at my desk trying to keep voting fair and safe in Pennsylvania. But I will tell you a story. I think this happened about 15 years ago. I was at the Union League, and I ran into Justice Scalia, and I was just like gobsmacked. I was, that's my kind of celebrity. And I said, and I actually said this, I said, Justice Scalia, I said, please make sure you're eating lots of fruits and vegetables so you live forever. And all these lawyers around me looked at me like, how could you possibly say that? Because you know how lawyers are just so stuffy. And he turned around and he said, I'll do my best. Like, he didn't miss a beat. So
well,
there
Linda,
you go.
you were right on point. You may not remember this. I filed this away. This Malveaux woman writing big columnist USA Today said, I hope when Clarence Thomas got on the bench, his wife feeds him bacon and eggs and grits every day, twice a day, so he'll, pass away earlier. She wrote a column on that.
That's just nasty. I don't know how we got so nasty and abrasive. That's completely unnecessary and nasty, but that's where we are today in politics. And again, that's why we need to get all the voters out there. We need to reelect Donald Trump. We need to put him back in the Oval Office so that we can correct some of this.
Absolutely. Linda, that website, can't give it enough times. Give it again, please.
ProtectTheVote.com. Please sign up at that website or TrumpForce47.com. And if you go to ProtectTheVote.com today, you can find out about our event on September 9th on Monday. It's going to be great. Chairman Whatley's back in town. Pam Bondi. They're going to talk to the people who show up to volunteer, and then we're going to have a training for them afterwards. So it's going to be a great event.
Thanks, Linda. Sure, we'll talk before then. Thank you very much.
Okay, take care.
Dan, we're close. It's a neck and neck here. Who's been on, Linda Kearns or Scott Presler? It's pretty close.
I think Linda surpassed him in the race.
Maybe. We got to get Presler back. He's out there lurking around, too, registering voters. All right, I'd love to get your response at 2 o'clock. Whatever you're doing, at 2 o'clock, if this comes off, we think it will. We're going to have special guests on this billboard thing that we're talking about, this SEPTA stop, and getting to the bottom of it. And she's right. They apparently broke into, had a key to several SEPTA posters. Who did it? Did somebody in SEPTA, Dan? Did they pay them? There you go. Media, do we have to do your work, Dan and I? How about running a feature on a key that fits stuff like this and all the check stuff that's happening with people washing checks by getting mailbox keys?
I mean, that's a great feature. There's so many things that are in public life. Like those signs that flash that have like traffic information that you see on the highway?
Yeah.
Even those things are hackable pretty easily by the public. Like there needs to be focus put on how easy these public messages can be hacked and such, and even just for that sake.
All right, so 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Hit us on the side question too. We've got some great ones here. Could be a bad experience. I'm looking at the one Earl has, Dan, Earl of Tacony coming up. If it was a bad experience there, I'm going to say, oh man.
I don't think it can be a bad experience with that guy.
Many times when I've gotten to interview celebrities, I was pleasantly surprised. Rudy Giuliani, not. I've told that story enough. Yeah.
Really? Like before all the stress hit him and all, he was still just not.
Yeah, he was. I got to be honest. No, he was not. It was 2004. I came up from Cape May.
Oh.
They wanted me to MC an event over at 9th Street under the Rizzo mural. So I'm trying to chat him up a little bit, Dan. Wasn't good.
Yeah.
I got to say it. It wasn't good. So, and I'm thinking, this is a natural for me. South Philly, Rizzo mural, Rudy Giuliani.
You are a lush. I can tell by looking at you.
All right, 855-839-1210.
You're going to have a hell of a story on that one.
You can get on board. We're getting great ones on Twitter. Hit us with yours and your reaction to this. What Linda and I are saying is that the Al Schmitts of the world, the Josh Shapiros of the world, and that's why it's going to be on the Jesse Waters show tonight, we believe, they have to be held accountable. They're weaponizing, coming after people. And it's all concerned. You heard what she said, 150 pages, all redacted. Why? Why are they redacting it? Why can't we see what this secretive thing, when we get lectured by Joshi Shapiro about democracy and true freedom every day? Who are you probing? What are you probing? Is it the Russians? Is it talk radio? Who are you looking at here for misinformation, disinformation? Imagine being in a courtroom with these guys. That's misinformation. God. 855-839-1210. All right, coming up. And this is where the bishops are at fault.
You can't handle the truth.
Sorry.
Thank you. These Catholic groups that are out there now telling us why it's acceptable if you're a practicing, devout, diligent Catholic, why you should vote for Kamala Harris. You think the bishops might want to say something? I'm not saying don't say vote. I just would like to know, how would Cardinal Dolan, who I had on once, if you're against illegal immigration, Cardinal, or you're favored with abortion, which is going to be worse for you in the eyes of the bishops? It appears to be, oh, man, if you're against illegal immigration, that's really the mortal sin. That milk bottle, oh, that whole milk bottle's filled up. You're going to hell with that. We know that. Remember the Border Patrol and that bishop from Tucson saying maybe we should excommunicado them? How about excommunicado Joe Biden pushing abortion? You think that might be something you look at? All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. Hey, well, I don't think I have that yet. So I'll hold my fire here.
Tell us, Dom.
More calls coming up with Dom on Talk Radio 1210.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is Thursday, September 12th. Be there as Dom Giordano talks to Donald Trump Jr. about the election, politics, and all things Trump. Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. We all love summer, right? But the beach isn't just for summer. In fact, the beach, and in particular the Cape May beach, is just beautiful in the fall. If you haven't been to Cape May in the fall, you're missing out, and you should book your stay at the Grand Hotel of Cape May for a September to remember. The Grand offers special midweek packages so you can enjoy the beach without breaking the bank. Stay 2 nights and save 10%. Stay 3 nights, get 10% off and $55 a night in resort credits. Stay 5 nights, you're going to get 10% off and $65 a night in resort credits, and they can be used at Hemingway's for food and drink, the gift shop, and so much more. The Grand offers guest rooms, suites, and townhomes equipped with a kitchenette, and they have 2 huge heated pools, 1 outdoor and 1 indoor. I'm telling you, the Grand is my happy place, and you will not be disappointed. Book directly with them for the best rates. Book your stay today at 800-257-8550 or visit them online at grandhotelcapemay.com. And our next live show is Friday, September 6th. So book your stay today, grandhotelcapemay.com.
Back to school? Make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Prepare your student now for a great school year. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2 to 1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social, and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Help your students start strong. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online at newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control, we'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
Free speech in Philly on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. We forgot some of the best. So wound up over this Kamala poster thing. Here is VP Harris trying out some different accents. I have to say, this never ends well. Is it kind of degrading that she thinks people in Detroit talk like this rather than when she was in Pittsburgh, she didn't start talking about the Primani sandwich and the Pittsburgh accent. You know, if she comes to South Philly, what's she going to do? She's going to adopt the South Philly accent?
Why can't I find that? What number was that?
That is because it's not
on there,
Trump reaction to it. Yeah, number 7. All right, two different accents on Labor Day in one day. One in Detroit is the first, then the other in Pittsburgh.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
What is going on there?
Let's play that back one more time, Dan, so people get the gist.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
What is that accent, though?
Yeah, and then in Pittsburgh, the normal, which
sounds like Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction accent. If
yeah. I mean, and she.
You better thank a union member for sick leave.
I'm the shepherd.
You always love playing the Hillary one. At least she was in the South when she was talking about Sojourner Truth, something like that.
Oh, you want that one?
Yeah, let's hear Hillary tried it. Not as good, but just as mockable. On the way's tired now.
Cleveland's great freedom hymn. I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
I'll say this about that, Dan. Given the audience and the situation and what that was from a poem of sorts, as a speaker to get the crowd fired up, I think that's more acceptable. Harris is completely, well, she's adopting kind of a southern black accent there.
Okay.
Yeah. It's from the poem. Yeah, she's kind of reading from the poem essentially. Kamala Harris.
If that's what she's going for, she's completely wrong. Because she sounds like Colonel Sanders here, if anybody.
Well, she's not pulling it off, but Harris, I think, did pull it off. But do people like that? Then she speaks in proper.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
All right, and, watching this stuff, look, I acknowledge the broader point, Dan. I think you do, too, somewhat. And I think that's fair, that the unions help to change working conditions. My gripe with the unions and the battles I've had over the years was this, that they lost their way. They're not about that anymore. They're not about all this repressive stuff that was done. That they did a good job in helping in the workplace, to her point. Now they're just a machine. Like, do I think the teachers' unions are a positive for America? They protect teachers in what can be difficult circumstance in schools at times. I get that. But overall, What do they stand for now? What did they stand for over the last number of years? Keeping schools shut to show their power. That's what they did. Do I think the Chicago teachers unions, the LA teachers unions, that they have anything to stand on? No, I don't. And by the way, today we've been monitoring protesters clashing with police at Columbia. And I'm watching the people that are in the protest side that are for Hamas. And they're holding up UAW signs, Dan, like these circular signs that say UAW. That's United Auto Workers. To the United Auto Workers, assembly line, tough work, monotonous work, you know what it is? They represent these professors and all now. They really want to be allied with them? Does a UAW member, if you're a union member, you give me a call right now. We go through this all the time. Do they want to be allied with these creeps, with the satanic group murdering people, and then Biden telling Israel they're not doing enough with the ceasefire? You can't make a deal with the devil. There's only one thing to do with them. Take them out. And that's what Netanyahu is doing. Take more of them out. Well, how many are you going to take out? How many do you have? Take them out. That's the only thing that works here. And I have to say, I think that people in Israel, those people protesting, I understand, they're looking at the death of the hostages, but I think they're caving in here. You can't make a deal with them. Any deal you make, they're going to break anyhow. The deal is we're going to exterminate them once and for all. Hamas, I'm talking about. But you see people walking around with the kerchiefs on, the whole deal in Colombia again. And you see people, these are probably professors and assistants, teachers of one sort, carrying UAW placards, that they're members of that. Somebody going to ask them, do they stand with groups like this? They do. Harris does. Not overtly. Harris, I'm looking, Fox running this now because it's starting to come up. She supports reparations for slavery. She's being interviewed by Al Sharpton. Will that come up in the debate? Now, if Trump handles that appropriately, because they're not going to ask about it, as an example of things, has she changed on that? I'm telling you, if there's any issue, fracking here in Pennsylvania, big. But when you do this reparation stuff, because apparently her Baptist preacher, her church, is a big advocate of this, and she has been on record supporting reparations for slavery. ABC will not ask her that, but Trump should use this as a card to get at all these change of heart. I don't think she's going to change on that. I think she's going to say she supports it. I'd love to see that in a debate. Yes, I support reparations for slavery. Now, they'll think it'll energize their base. She stood up and finally said it. Let's see how people that are undecided feel.
Reparations for descendants of Africans enslaved. If you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign that
bill. All right, there we go. All right. Good news sign, Trump did not campaign over Labor Day. The belief is, and I don't know why, I guess it's part of the shtick, he has to pretend that he's ready for the debate. He doesn't have to do all this prep. Stop it already. I never understand that with anybody. More, I don't understand why people would be a fan of it. I want a guy preparing down to the most detailed imaginable. And then you just let it go and you act in your normal manner, but you have all that stored up and it flows out of you. Why would you want to pretend you're not preparing for that's what I don't have to prepare. Everybody's got to prepare for this. It's the biggest match of your life. This is the heavyweight fight. You think I'm not preparing for it? I could go and do the Donald Trump, the Don Jr. thing, Dan, right now, talk for 3 hours with him without a note. Am I going to do that? No. I'm going to take to the mattresses, give respect to the guests and the audience we have there. And I think that Trump might be doing that. All right.
Finally figured it out, Tom.
Yes.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
Now, who's responsible for this unwarranted attack on my person?
Did you see it on Twitter? That's where people went on Twitter. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm impressed
Great comparison.
that you pulled up Al Sharpton there.
No, that's...
I get it.
It's Foghorn Leghorn.
I get it that I
Not Al Sharpton.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking to the...
Yeah, the previous, yeah. I know it's Foghorn Leghorn. Yeah, yes, let's be clear.
They sound similar, too.
Yeah. I like the rhythm of it. She got into the rhythm with the crowd, But Hillary it was a poem, at least.
Hillary's is worse, I got it.
Oh, no, I think hers is.
Lynn's great freedom hymn.
It's a hymn.
I don't feel no ways tired.
But she's really bad at it. Like, excessively bad at it. Sounds like me trying to do a British accent, which I won't do.
Oh, God.
Hello, mate. How you doing today?
855 wasn't bad. 839-1210. You get on board right now. Hey, you've heard me talk a lot about FanDuel. In partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sports book, well, we have something a little bit different for you now through September 22nd. All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account, certain form of payment. You can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to download America's #1 sportsbook. Now, FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Texting enrolls in recurring automated text marketing messages. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply. Reply help for help or stop to opt out.
Are you drinking too much? Is alcohol affecting your relationships? Could drinking be affecting your job?
Hi, I'm Jonathan, founder of Or Health. I struggled with alcohol misuse for 15 years. I tried self-help, therapy, and traditional 12-step programs, but nothing really worked. That's why I started Or Health. Or Health provides access to safe and effective medication, FDA approved for the treatment of alcohol issues. A daily pill proven to reduce alcohol cravings and make it easier to drink less or quit.
To join the thousands who are drinking less or who have quit altogether, text CHECK to 710-710. You'll be sent a secure link to Or Health's private online assessment. If treatment is right for you, a licensed medical professional will prescribe medication for discreet and convenient delivery to your door. Just text CHECK to 710-710. That's CHECK to 710-710.
Not available in all states. For SMS terms, privacy policy, risk, and restrictions, please go to orhealth.com/terms. Use as directed.
The Crash Proof Retirement Show will air before and after Penn State football this Saturday. Tune in at 11 a.m., then again right after the game to learn how to create your own Crash Proof Retirement game plan.
Weather sponsored by Robert Half.
A very pleasant air mass remains in place for the next few days. Plenty of sunshine today with a high temperature below average at 77. Tonight, mostly clear, comfortable, low 57 for the city, cooler in the suburbs. And another nice day on Wednesday, plenty of sunshine with a high 79.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Our recruiting professionals utilize an award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Tom Giordano's show, 855-839-1210. Side question, coming off meeting John Middleton at the Phillies game the other night. What an owner. Somebody you weren't expecting to meet that pops in there, good or bad. A lot of them are good. Some celebrity that crossed your path. Bill in Bucks County, though, is on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Bill, good afternoon.
Good afternoon there, Dom. I just had a question about that Eagles fiasco.
Yes.
Why don't we learn what Martina White has to say about that? She's on the board of directors.
Well, yeah, she's on the board of directors, but it appears, by all accounts, that they were able to get in there with a key or break in some other way to put these ads in there. That's where it's coming from.
Who broke in?
Well, it seems to be this so-called street artist.
Yeah, but is he working alone? Is he
coordinating
with any groups? You know, it needs to be found out.
All we have to do is look at the footage because we know it was done yesterday. It's not a lot of footage to take a look at exactly. That's what they should be doing, yeah.
Is it just a thing of vandalism, or what does Leslie Richards say? She's,
Yeah, well, exactly.
General manager.
No, I'm in agreement that this is where it should go. It's at least vandalism, if not worse, and there could be multiple people involved. But apparently, CBS 3 pointing to this street artist as the main figure here.
Right, I got you. So it had nothing to do with the management.
I don't see, think about this. I mean, look, we're living in times of, is SEPTA going to be
some of the board members, like the Bucks County board members is Bob Harvey and John Cordisco.
Right.
And they're both very, very active in the Democrat Party in Bucks County. They're the two representatives from Bucks County on the SEPTA board of directors.
Well, I know, but it's very far-fetched.
It just seems coincidental, that's all. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's people that are abusing the system, and I think that's where the story is. But I'm open to whoever they catch on this, grilling them on it, seeing if there's anybody else involved. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And who's your celebrity?
My celebrity is the late Vincent Price.
Okay.
I met Vincent Price in the Warwick Hotel elevator around 10 o'clock at night in the Rittenhouse Square area. I was a microwave technician working for Bella, PA. And he was in the elevator. I get in the elevator. He and I were alone. And I sort of got a little bit freaked out because it was, he's a horror story guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
you're right. Yeah.
Here I am, the guy that was in The Fly and Pit and Pendulum and all of these movies that, I'm saying, am I safe?
Good stuff. That's a random example. The guy I'd like to, Dan, you never can get him on. It might be trouble, too. The Eagles playing in Brazil. We've been talking about this because of Elon Musk, but also the crime rate. This is an authoritarian country running wild. The crime rate is apparently incredible. Listen to, I'm not a fan of this guy as a player or other stuff, I got to say. I think he's overrated. I think he has been for a while, but he is starting defensive back for your Philadelphia Eagles, headed on Friday to Brazil. Here's Darius Slay, I think on his podcast, Dan. It's his podcast, right?
Either that or he's on another Eagles
Eagles podcast. Here's what he said they've been told about going to Brazil.
Week one, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. But, man, I do not want to go to Brazil. You want to know why? I'm here to tell you why. They already told us not to leave the hotel. They told us we can't do too much going on because the crime rate is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, NFL, why y'all want to send us somewhere with the crime rate this high And like, we out the country. So, the first thing people think is like something terrible can possibly happen. I told my family, do not come down there because I'm not going to be nowhere to be found. Really, I'm going to be in a hotel chilling, minding my business, playing my game after a long 9.5-hour flight. So I don't have no intentions on doing that. I'm going to eat hotel food. I'm doing everything. But they said, yeah, man, it's going to be pretty crazy down there. The police said they're going to be, try to be the best they could possibly be with the top flight security of the world, Craig.
All right, there you have it. The NFL marches on. Dan, you wanted to know legality looking into the artist's bank account to see if he's paid off.
Yeah, back to Bill's call.
Yeah.
What's going to happen here and how I see this unfolding is it's going to be claimed that this guy's a private artist.
Right.
There's no funkery involved with DNC, no being paid off, no organizations involved. A rogue actor, and maybe he gets held accountable. Maybe we forget about it, move on, and that's how it's going to be sold as a DNC. But what's stopping them from doing this over and over again? And how do you investigate something like this to prevent a private actor from doing something like this? An artist who's doing some street art that's very illegal. It's election interference. And I don't know. How do you investigate something like that? And I put up on the board, what's the legality of looking into this artist's bank account to see whether or not he received a lump sum payment or some kind of big payment from a political organization? Is that legal? Like, how do you investigate something like this?
You'd have to look. We're in a third world situation here. Let's face it. With Krasner and the authorities, they would have the power to do that if it is this street artist. They get him, they book him, and then they start to. If he won't cooperate, they could bring other charges against him if there's any kind of probability or evidence there of doing it. It's the Trump people, though, should run with this. We got a special guest at 2:00 that's going to talk about something you could do around this. But to your point, this is a major league deal. And people would not be calling it a joke if they're Trump people. They would be calling it election interference. That's what it is. Now, is it just this street artist getting his name out there doing it? Apparently, by all parties, Dan, that I can tell, they're saying that they had to get into this protective shield and they had to have the key or break in to do it. Did they break in? Do they have the key? Which one is it? The problem we're up against with the media, other than Steve Keeley and a couple of other sources, they're not curious on any of this stuff, to your point. They want it to go away.
Yep.
That's what it is. And Republicans have to be on this locally. I don't hear any Republicans. Here again, we have a completely deficient Republican Party. They don't want Trump to win. The guy over here is the head of the Republican Party who can call anytime he wants. It's going to take the suburban people to be on this and demand a full investigation. You and I have never gotten a bigger response on Twitter, particularly people on the left. Oh, you're a snowflake. No, this is illegal, what was done here. All right, it's Dan time coming up, then a special guest at 2. Let's talk for a moment, though, about Rescue Natural Supplements Labor Day sale, the ultimate celebration of savings and well-being, because all Rescue supplements are slashed up to 70% off, plus enjoy free shipping, too. Whether you're searching for immune support, joint care, heart health, or a youthful glow, Rescue has health essentials for everyone. Take a break, celebrate your workplace achievements with savings on probiotic, omega-3s, multivitamins, and a lot more. Call 800-26-ALIVE. That's 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant, or you can shop online at res-q.com. res-q.com. Celebrate Labor Day with 30 to 70% off. Again, all Rescue products are slashed up to 70% off site-wide. No codes needed. Call or go to res-q.com to get this Labor Day deal now. Start feeling like a new you with Rescue.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation. information to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-246-0553. 800-246-0553. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-246-0553.
The following is a paid commercial message.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
No Dan time today. Producer Dan here, sending it right back to Dom Giordano because we got a big guest and I got to get that settled. So Dom, take it away.
All right, thank you. Side question today. You got it, right? John Middleton. God, it was unbelievable. Person you ran into. What was the circumstance? A celebrity. Let's go to the Earl of Tacony. Earl, who was yours?
Real quick, this is a street artist. Sounds like Sabo, S-A-B-O, out in Los Angeles, unsavoryagents.com. The thing is, with Sabo, you know it's a fake. You know it's a joke. This one looked too real. He doesn't understand that the point of parody is you're supposed to be in on the joke. And that's why people were upset, because it looked too official. There was nothing about it that made it look funny. It was just, enough just to freak people out.
That is a great point, and that's what he's trying to do, I believe, if it is a street artist. And this is a guy who's done stuff before attacking Trump in the same manner. And, Earl, this is a test. Do the Republicans rally and demand as we are? They investigate this. They push them. They move. We can't do it all. They got to do it.
But my side answer is in 1976, my father was at Center City Cadillac, and he was looking to buy a car. And as he's walking around in the lot, he goes and he looks over, and there's an older gentleman there that's also on the lot purchasing a car. And he walks over and says, "You look familiar." It's like, you're Captain Noah, aren't you? He says, "Yes, I am." And they start talking, and Captain Noah asks him, "Do you have any children?" He says, "Yes, I have 2 sons." Captain Noah stops buying the car, takes my father, they go into the manager's office. Captain Noah sits at the manager's desk, picks up his phone, and calls my house to talk to me and my brother.
Oh, my God.
That's so cool.
That is
That's
unbelievable.
awesome.
And Captain Noah, at one point, I'm not sure at that point, Earl, was one of the biggest stars in town.
Oh, yes. I was about 7 at the time.
Yeah, that is tremendous stuff. That's much different than Joe DiMaggio. Now, come on, you're marrying to DiMaggio. She's with Marilyn Monroe. What the heck's Captain Noah have to do? Yeah, that's
cool to see that.
That's very good stuff.
Yeah,
that might be. So this is the hey, Captain Noah on the phone here, kids. All right, big guest coming up. It relates to what's going on with this whole fiasco around the Eagles poster and Vice President Harris. You'll get it here with Dom and Dan next on Talk Radio 1210.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Bob Casey is lying to seniors. Listen to this whopper.
We're lowering prescription drug costs.
Lowering prescription drug costs? Not even close. Prices for medications are soaring. Casey's had nearly 2 decades in Washington. He hasn't fixed it. He's made it worse. Casey even voted for higher taxes on seniors' Social Security benefits. That's right, Casey pushed higher taxes on seniors. Casey also voted for a bill that could raise out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors. Seniors are already struggling with sky-high prices. But instead of helping, Bob Casey is trying to fool seniors and hide his failed record. Casey has had nearly 20 years in Washington. What's he given us? Higher costs and higher taxes. That's the real Bob Casey. He's wrong for Pennsylvania. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
California Psychics was great. Gosh, I got everything I can imagine from my reading.
At California Psychics, we only connect our customers with the best. In fact, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. So we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free.
She told me something about my love life that I needed to hear. I do feel better about my relationship from what she told me. I feel like I'm on the right path.
Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20, which means you could soon be taking a romantic stroll down the right path, too. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Get $5 off with code RADIO5 when you download the app.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. We pride ourselves, Dan and I, when you have a local story that has national impact, like this Philadelphia Eagles, the fake, the street artist or not, them trying to brush it off. There are people out there who I think did a good deed. Crossing Broad even, Dan, which is not political, but I like them over there. They said you might say it's sort of like a citizen's arrest. All right? You'll see why, because we got the guy who's making national news, Joe, or South Philly Joe, I think is his handle. Joe in South Philly's with us, and we're going to find out what he did yesterday on his Labor Day off. Hey, Joe, welcome to the Dom Giordano Show. Thanks so much for taking time out to join us.
Hi, Dom. Thanks for having me on the show.
So, Joe, take us through your day yesterday. Not the barbecuing and not anything else.
Yeah, like once you find out what was going on here,
what happened, Joe? And give us your initial reaction. Where was the bus stop or, you know, the window that was in that you saw the poster?
Well, you know, I was out driving around during the day, Labor Day, all casualed up, you know, trying to enjoy the day, beautiful day that it was here in Philly. And I received a couple messages from a friend, you know, a friend that I was a volunteer with
in the Doug Mastriano campaign 2 years ago, pushing for Doug and everything. And he said to me, Joe, I'm getting messages from people that there's signs saying that Kamala Harris is endorsing the Eagles are endorsing Kamala Harris as a vice presidential candidate, and it's totally not true. We got to do something. His name's Michael Dano, and he's a good friend of mine, like I said, and we got close trying to do the right thing, being volunteers. So I started to receive several addresses. I'm driving around the city looking at these SEPTA pickup stops, the stands that are there. Some are digital stands, some are paper stands, paper display stands or digital display stands. And I'm trying to think about how something like this could actually happen on a SEPTA stop area. To me, it just doesn't make sense.
Hey, Joe, let me ask you here, too. Did it look to you like you have to have a key or have to break into something to put this poster in there? How do you breach that? Yeah, what do you think?
Yes. Well, definitely. With regards to the stand display, they're full-size window displays, probably between 6 and 10 feet high in height, maybe about 5.5 to 6 feet, less than 6 feet wide. And on the right-hand side of it, the upper corner, the lower corner, there's Allen wrenches. Allen wrench spots that are used to unlock the glass door for the paper displays. And I guess for the digital displays, there's somewhere, there's a programming box. But these signs were actually only in the paper display areas. So I went around to a few of these signs, and then I finally found the one that they were trying to point out to me. Was at 34th and Chestnut on University of Pennsylvania's campus, directly across from where the recent protests were, the Palestinian protests, the pro-Hamas protests. A very busy intersection there at 34th and Chestnut because you have both universities, Drexel University, Penn University, using that area. People use Chestnut Street to go to and from the 30th Street train station. So this was a very visible display. And in a sense, it was on the outer exterior wall. So what you see is it's something that's placed there, and it looks like a professional display, so nobody's second-guessing it. So my concern there is that, okay, the Philadelphia Eagles have issued statements both on X, formerly Twitter, as well as Facebook, and they specifically deny. They claim it to be a counterfeit sign. The real question is how does someone get into a SEPTA display case? Could it be and I don't mean this disrespectfully to SEPTA, but, could it be an inside job? Someone on their staff did it? Could it be somebody that's, mechanically inclined, has the right kind of key, Allen wrench key, and opened it up like a mechanic and simply inserted the sign in there before they knew it? Before it could be discovered or reported quick enough.
Hey, Joe, is it easy to get an Allen wrench key? Somebody could get that, right?
Yes.
It's not something you got to go and something nefarious. Okay.
Yeah, you can get it probably at any hardware store, Home Depot, Walmart.
All right, so, Joe, the moment of truth now. You see this. How are you feeling? Is it citizens' arrest time?
Do you physically go to, like, a Kinko's? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, what did you do?
Well, you sort of touched on it. I actually went to Staples down in South Philly at 23rd and Oregon.
Where else? Yes.
When in doubt, go to South Philly. And it was by the time I actually found it, it was getting close to around 7 o'clock or so. So I rushed down to I checked to see if it was open. It's open till 8. So I rushed down there. Printed off the flyer, and I touched it up a little bit. I put a little notice up top. Notice from the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a false display, and the contents in this display case are not authorized by the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think I extended any type of role as a representative of the Eagles. I did it as a concerned citizen, simply repeating what was in their social media posts, and of course I included that in a large display on the paper, and I made sure I covered up the sign as well as I could.
Wow.
When you walk into Staples and you ask someone for that kind of copy, did you get any kind of like weird looks? Or
Not in South Philly, come on.
Not at all. But it's interesting because the Staples store is set up where they have the self-use printers and copiers. Now you can use their computer stations and then print it off and then run over and make copies.
So Joe, now this obviously we saw it first over at Fox 29. You standing there in front of it.
Yes.
This is really taken off. So first question, what's it like now for you? We're so glad you trusted us and you came on here, Joe, to tell your story. What has happened today once people have seen you out there?
It's interesting that you say that. I'd like to say thank you for referring me to you. I'd like to say thanks to Mr. Keeley, for connecting us, because I think he was the person that actually was the reporter that posted the full sign or the retraction sign, from the Eagles. So as I was posting gluing and taping the signs on the wall there, they came up and they asked me questions, and I was hesitant to speak to them at first, and then I saw the Fox News sign, and I said, you know what, I think I should talk to Fox here.
Well, good. Let me identify. We're talking with Joe from South Philly, who engaged in this yesterday. So, Joe, after that, now today, are there any negative people out there? Is it mostly positive? What's the response?
Positive. I've been getting messages. It started last night. By the time I got home, a 10, 15-minute ride from up in University City to back in South Philly, people were saying, "Is this you? Is this you? Is this you?" And of course, I denied it. But in that regard, people today have actually been, complimenting me, and I saw some posts from X that that most people are very much in favor of what I was doing for the reason that I was doing it. I wasn't, it wasn't a question that actually got to the point, who you voting for, President Trump or Vice President Kamala Harris? It's something where it goes to the actual deceit in campaigning, in which they're trying to induce a vote.
Yes. So, well, and I would argue the Eagles are arguing about this, really, or it's the logic of it, Joe. I'll pretend to be a full-time lawyer. I'm only part-time. That the vandalism was committed by the people breaking into that, or if someone instead of helping them, there's the violation. Clearly, this is just correcting the record, which the Philadelphia Eagles would know better than anybody else. It's all that you did with their statement. This is false. Dan had a question. Dan.
Yeah, I just want to underline, I don't mean to blow smoke up there, but a lot of people on Twitter, Joe, if you're not on there, they are saying really good things about you, because what you did, it's in regards to election integrity, election security, you hear from the left a lot of misinformation campaigns and such, and right here we have a town, a city who bleeds green, essentially being told to go vote for Kamala Harris, and I think a lot of people recognize what you did as a good thing, so I thank you.
Absolutely. So, Joe, future now, any other media interest out there you might want to tell us about?
Well, just after I spoke to you, your office there, to Dan and your office, I sort of received a call from Jesse Water Live.
Very good. I want to promote it. Are we going to see you tonight?
That's possibly.
Okay. Well, look,
they've actually reached out to me and they told me that we're just waiting for you to confirm, because we have a place for you to come to to be on the show.
Yeah, I would vouch for him, Joe. He's a friend and friend of the show. I would vouch for him big time. And as you may know, he's formerly from Philadelphia, so
it's great to see it going national too. The story become national focus as well. Awesome.
Yeah. So, Joe, we'll be watching Jesse Waters tonight. Hope to see you on that. They didn't ask you to go back to the scene of this, did they?
No, they haven't.
Okay.
At least not yet.
So, Joe, again, you're right on with this. Election interference, it's fake. You took action. The city wasn't going to do that. They did it on Labor Day because they know everything is going to be shut down. And you gave us another piece of the story with this Allen wrench key thing that tells us SEPTA should take a look at their security here, because
you got to put like padlocks or something on it.
Yeah,
right?
You got to do better. This is a classic case of election interference. That's exactly what's going on.
And even more significant, I'll just leave this point with you. My concern was actually the fact that, yes, the Eagles retracted this statement where they acknowledged that it was a counterfeit sign, but so many people go by that area and the other areas. They've placed them at Broad and Montgomery. You know, I've learned that now. There's one on Temple's campus. There was one around 16th and Spring Garden. And now there, you know, at least this one here. This morning I received some phone calls that there may be some down in Westchester. So somebody really tried to reach out there. You have to be organized. You have to have money. And you have to have the ability to do it.
So,
but back to the whole point
to that last part, the Westchester thing, Dan, now this gets into, if true, to your last point, Joe, I can start to buy into the money and resources behind that. If there's any sliver of that, then this is an even bigger story.
You know what's fascinating that he brings this up, Joe? How many total do you know in the city of Philadelphia? Do you have any number as to how many appeared, or do you not know it definitely?
Not.
Okay.
You know,
because if you're talking,
it's been reported to me, like by people, that they've seen at least 3 or 4 of them. Okay. And the other aspect of the Westchester postings, again, that's by another university. So it's clear that the real target is our university-aged students. You know, they're going after the young. They're going after the young because they know they're busy. They're not really paying attention to everything. A lot of people are frustrated with the whole issue anymore, so they just want to go and vote on Election Day. You know, any little thing like this can sway a vote, and that's the prejudice. And if one vote actually gets stolen because of this, I think the entire system's prejudiced.
So, Joe, what do you want done since you become a big actor in this? What would you like to see happen here?
I would like to see SEPTA to implement serious security review, as we discussed earlier, to make sure that this cannot happen again. I would like to see further action by the Philadelphia Eagles to make sure that this is clearly not tolerated by the Philadelphia Eagles organization. They're a little busy right now down in Brazil. But when they come back, I think Mr. Lurie is a good businessman, can see that Philadelphia is a town not just made up of Democratic Eagle fans. It's got a lot of Trump-supporting Eagle fans or Republican-supporting Eagle fans. And I think because of that we got to make sure that they take a firm stance on this. I also am concerned about how it affects people in the long run, because many people will see that sign but not really pay attention to what's going on, and it could sway them. Again, I think there's got to be some way of making sure that something like this doesn't happen again. And we didn't mention it, but I think the city needs to make an official statement regarding it too.
Yeah, they all do. And well, Joe, I know
ahead.
you follow this again for listeners, though, too. Really, we've been talking about that the Secretary of State and Josh Shapiro lecturing people like you, me, Dan, and listeners about misinformation and all this. They should use this as a teachable moment to reach out and say, this is exactly what we're not going to allow. Or do they just want to censor Trump supporters?
I think they want to censor Trump supporters, and I'll tell you why very briefly. With regards to this type of incident, it happened in the same places during the last gubernatorial campaign. You know, when Shapiro was running against Mastriano, there was a lot of signs that were posted all up and down Broad Street, all in University City, that were basically saying, you know, stating lies. You know, they were misrepresenting laws, the state of laws and stuff like that. And you know how I know this? Because I was running around taking them down. I didn't care, you know, and I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but when people are doing this, I think it's an essential role of every citizen to get up and tear it down, because it's an absolute lie, and it's not just misrepresenting the person that's taking it down, it's prejudicing our entire public. You know, everyone that has the right to vote has now been infected with bad information. And that's what it comes down to, this upcoming debate that we have in Philadelphia. That's the forum where all these questions should be posed and answered. You know,
Joe, thank you so much. Thanks for
welcome.
relying on us. Hopefully you'll be on with Jesse Waters tonight. We'll be watching. And stay in touch with Dan. If there's any other development, just let him know. We'd be happy to talk with you, Joe.
Okay, great. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you very
Dan.
much. All right. Kudos to Dan here, too, behind the scenes. So you just heard a big part of this that you're not hearing from the rest of the media, other than Steve Keeley, of course, who, of course, again, He's a one-man gang.
He's like the only one actually doing his job.
Yeah, he's the greatest reporter in Philadelphia history. He's the greatest in the country. I mean, he is unbelievable. He ought to be featured around the clock. You got talent there that's second to none. Love to get your response at 855-839-1210. That's how you do it. This part about, if it is true that it's an Allen wrench key, did somebody accept to do it with this guy? Now, there's several. If there's one out in Westchester, now we're starting to get into Dan's point about who's resourcing the alleged people involved with doing it.
Well, yeah, my thoughts are, if it's only 4, then maybe it's possible. But if it's more than 4, you're talking about a coordinated effort here because this happened overnight, right?
Yeah.
And it's an involved situation where you're opening a thing, pasting it up, putting it down. And something that big, I would assume, takes more than one person to do, right? So, is there coordination here? Is this a group? Who's funding the group? You know, there's so many questions that need to be answered about this.
Right. And again, couple things. Look, we can go all day. Well, Democrats are not doing it. We know that. We know that. Democrats are doing what progressives are about. Larry Krasner's not going to do anything. The city's not going to make this. Where are Republicans on this? Now, the Trump people are alert nationally, I think. Again, Dan, they have to at some point say to the guy running the Republican Party, hey, Vince, what are you doing about this? I bet if they put it up on one of those bars over in Northeast Philadelphia, that you do something about it. Come on the show, Vince, and tell me what you're going to do about this. Do we see Republicans demanding action, going to the media, full court press, lawyers? No. It's people like Linda Kearns through the Trump campaign that are on this and trying to do something. It's hard enough in Philadelphia. They got to remove this old boys networks of morons that are the Republican Party in town. After this is election over, that's a job. If you're going to look, it's not about Philadelphia and winning in Philadelphia. It's about winning Pennsylvania. You can't let them get away with this stuff. If anybody's out there in Westchester, you saw it, you have knowledge of it, you took pictures of it, we'd love to know that because that's a smoking gun at how far this has gone. And yes, it should be investigated up and down the line. And the Trump people ought to be on it because they might break something loose here where it's more than just one person. The allegation from CBS 3 that some people think it's a street artist. You know, another thing, you got too much of this street artist and graffiti stuff. Go and be a real artist. Stop doing stuff that's illegal. Allegedly. Well, this is illegal as far as I can tell. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. We'll take your calls on that. Great stuff from Joe. That's a new wrinkle in this. But first, it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
So the money gone.
All right, we're playing today for a pair of tickets to Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. and me and Dan there at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey, September 12th. Each ticket also includes a copy of Letters to Trump. Big value, big night. Tickets are on sale right now at 1210WPHT.com. What do you have, Dan?
Yeah, Dom, today we're going to be talking about a song that's very relevant to today's date that comes, thank you to Mike Opelka for suggesting that we use this song for today's Money Melody. So, Dom, this song mentions today's date, but we're going to do a cover of it because I think it's too obvious to just do a riff from it. So, Dom, we're going to do Papa Was a Rolling Stone. I want to know who the cover band is today. And a little clue about this cover band, provide the walk-up music for a Philadelphia great, Philadelphia Philly, and they're two-time Grammy winners. So a big name. We want to know who it is today covering Papa Was a Rolling Stone. Take a listen. You can win those Politics and Pints tickets.
It was the 3rd of December. That day I'll always remember.
I love this man.
'Cause that was the day that my daddy died. Never got a chance to see him. Never heard nothing but bad things about him. Mama, I'm depending on you to tell me the truth.
So, Dom, we're looking for the name of the cover band today. A band that's won 2 Grammys. And they provide the walk-up music for a great Philadelphia Philly, 855-839-1210.
Hit us with that, and you are off with us on a magical night, September 12th with Don Trump Jr. Tickets, 1210WPHT.com. Give me your reaction to Joe and what we just brought you as developing this story that the rest of the media is just not curious. You're making too much out of this. Are we? Stop telling us about misinformation and disinformation, you frauds, up and down the line. And Al Schmidt, come on the show. We'll treat you civilly. I want to know what you're going to do about this. Is it a teachable moment or not? 855-839-1210. Let me tell you about the great customer service, the great skill that you get with a field that we all have difficulty with at times. That's tech of one sort or another, your phone and other things. Batteries plus bulbs in Mount Laurel and Northfield. My friend Roy is looking for help. He gives you help, and he needs some now to help people. He's looking for a handy do-it-yourselfer, would be ideal, great low-pressure part-time job, could lead to full-time. With Roy, customer service is key. If you're willing to do what it takes to help, you need to talk to Roy. Be part of the team. As he says every time we talk, they power it, they light it, and they fix it. Definitely they fix it. Give them a call, and don't forget all your battery, bulbs needs, but the technology demands that people have. You call them, give them the situation, or call them now and get this job. 856-638-0778. Batteries plus bulbs, Mount Laurel and Northfield at 856-638-0778.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there. investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering the C40 lease for 36 months for under $500 to qualified buyers. This is a really fun Volvo to drive. We also have a huge selection of certified Volvos. And what about $15,000 off when leasing a 2024 XC90 hybrid? This is an incredibly fabulous Volvo. It's the Volvo I drive. Visit us here at Cherry Hill Volvo for the attention and respect you deserve.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control, we'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
It's the Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
That is right. All right, let's hear today's clue. We're looking for the cover band of this popular song.
It was the 3rd of December.
I said December. It's September. Come on.
Yes, I will. 'Cause that was the day that my daddy died.
Don, the clue today, this band provides the walk-up music for a great Philadelphia Philly as well.
Current Philly?
Current Philly.
Mike in Philly on Talk Radio 1210. Mike, who's covering this song?
Would that be In Living Color?
That is it.
Very nice.
And who's the walk-up music? Do you happen to know that? Or you got rid of him already?
No, is it Bryce Harper?
No. It's so Living Color is a Chicago band. Would you happen to know who's from Chicago?
No.
Okay, well, let me give you the song. See if you recognize the song. Here we go. Recognize this? Here we go, right here.
No, I'm not sure who they played it, but I'm just there the other night. I remember that.
So it's also walk-up music for wrestler CM Punk, which is where it's huge, but it's very Chicago affiliated. Therefore, Kyle Schwarber's walk-up music.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. There's a winner today,
Congratulations.
Mike. Right out of the box. Okay. We got the side question going on, but we just had the guy really in the center of this. And Dan, we just saw photos. You can say, I don't know if we should say from whom, but right there from the scene. It looks, to Joe's point, pretty easy to break into this. And what they're doing, you were reading statements to me in 30 seconds there. You have the Eagles, the ad agency, the SEPTA board, and they're all saying, well, it's up to Philadelphia. No. A law was broken here. At least one. At least one. So I realize you got a million things we're trying to, I think the Trump people are aware of this. They got to spring into action. Again, Pat Pavarek out there in Bucks County. Pat, I have to text you. You can spring into action. You can at least go to the media. Does Talk Radio 1210 have to do all that? Let's go to Stephen in Bensalem on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Stephen, afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Don. How you doing, sir?
Good.
So my issue with that, years ago, I'm a business owner in Bensalem. Been there 18 years. And there's a bus stop right on my doorstep, basically in front of my store. I'm a self-standing building on a high-volume corner. So years ago, that I had a competition poster put right there, and I was furious. It is not just SEPTA. There is another company called Clearview. It's a third-party company, and they maintenance it, and they change the posters and so forth. And what I ended up doing, it's an advertising agency, actually, that I actually went out with trash bags, covered it up, explained my situation. They were out the next day. So, again, it could not just be SEPTA, but like I said, there could be a third party involved, which they're called Clearview.
Not Clearview.
You know, so
it's not Clearview in this case. It's Intersection Media. Just want to clarify. But yes, there is indeed, similar to your situation, there is a third party here involved.
But Intersection Media, here's the difference, though, Stephen, and I think they're legit on this. Let's be clear. I don't think they ran this ad. If they did, we have just a big scandal here. I don't think they okayed this ad. It goes through the city. I think this was this rogue element. Was he backed by progressive or Democrats on this? I don't think it's the ad company. I think someone broke into these places. It's not that hard and put up these posters. And the one guy who has done this before is the one that CBS 3 was talking about. But to your point, it's ridiculous.
No, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's just, what's going on today. They don't want anybody thinking for themselves, basically. And it's sad. It's a sad state that we live in today.
Well, and that's why, with every breath that we have here, we're contacting the people that we know. If it gets on the Water show tonight, I encourage Joe to go on. It'll be out there nationally. And people probably are going to say, well, what's wrong with the Philadelphia GOP? They don't want Trump to win. That's what's wrong with them. They got to take action on this outfit here. Come on, Vince. Call and tell me I'm wrong. You know it's true.
Agree with you 100%.
Thank you, Stephen, very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And look, we don't know if anybody funded it, and we don't know if it's this so-called street artist. I haven't said his name. I'm not going to say his name and all that till we have further proof. But unless Republicans push this, this is exactly a forerunner of what they're going to try to do in Philadelphia. Dan, I never forget the time, first time around when Sam Katz ran. They just got in his face with a bullhorn, right? He's running against John Street. And they're calling his wife the C word. Now, I like Sam Katz, as I told you. But you know, Dan, what you have to do in a circumstance like that. Yeah. You got to drop the guy. And it was this little runt guy. You know, and if your glasses
Jim, please isolate and pull. You got to drop the guy.
Yeah. And then if your glasses are broken in the fracas and all, you put the broken glasses on, and then you call out in your speech the Philadelphia Inquirer. Teddy Roosevelt gets shot and gives the speech. If you want to win in Philadelphia, if you want to deal with them, you have to protect yourself. The second time around, he goes out to West Philly. They have 200 guys screaming as he's trying to make his opening speech.
I'm telling you, get away from me.
Right, that's what you need. Saying blank, stuff
You're
at
a
his
crumb
speech.
creep, lush coward.
What do you do in a circumstance like that? Well, if they have 200 guys there, you have to have 400 or 500 guys that you're going to do your speech. You're not going to shut me down. This is a precursor to what Philadelphia is all about.
Get away from me, you crumb.
Not so much just putting this up, which we had yesterday, Dan and I on the air. It's what is Philadelphia going to do about it? The media here, other than Steve Keeley, they're not going to run this down. Steve Keeley's out there on a cot sleeping in front of these to get more stuff on it. And apparently, Dan, I think he believes that this guy's right? An Allen wrench key would open this up. That appears to be.
No, I don't know if I don't have clarification on that. Yeah, but I mean, you would think like something like this would be padlocked, or they'd have some kind of further protection, or in a digital age, some kind of digital key that the person that exchanges the posters, the person that's supposed to, holds up a phone to unlock it or something. To think that it's easy as an Allen wrench or something you can order off of Amazon or you know, and it just seems very convenient excuse to me.
Here's
to
the
be
thing.
Completely honest.
They're saying we're snowflakes. We're making too much of this, you snowflakes. Linda Kearns asked for this weaponized committee that Josh Shapiro has set up to shut down all alleged misinformation, which means saying anything they don't like. 150 pages they send back, Dan, most of it redacted. And they think we're just going to roll over. They're going to roll through Philadelphia and roll us in the rest of the state. The Trump people, as much as I think they're on top of stuff, I got to convince them more, Dan, that Philadelphia is a different animal. That this is not, you know, like anything imaginable. Philadelphia, Detroit, Chicago. All right, that's the bottom line. All right, to get somebody to come. Yeah, I think TikTok is involved with this Eagles thing. We'll get that. Whoa. We will get your side questions at 855-839-1210. You just heard Joe, though, the guy that put that on there. I hope he doesn't run afoul of Larry Krasner now, you know. But if he does that, then this is going to morph it into a bigger showdown. What did we want done? We want an investigation. You put that up yesterday when I was on the air, and that's exactly on point. We wanted an investigation of who did this. The footage should be obvious. I would bet it happened overnight, Sunday into Monday, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Just watch the tapes. I think they have cameras there. They're going to tell us they don't. You mean that the bus stops even are unprotected, these little shelters and all? And then from there, apprehend the person and get to the bottom of it. Charge that person with at least vandalism, maybe something more. You can't break into this. You can't put these up. It is illegal. There is no doubt about it. They have no guarantee of anybody they can do this. It's illegal.
Also, I mean, we got to stay on the Eagles to press charges, right? Because it's a copyright infringement.
Yeah, exactly. What are the Eagles going to do about it? Rather than saying it's fake. Are they going to press charges? It is copyright infringement. That's exactly right. And Vince, come on out. It's a nice sunny day. Give us a call, Vince. What is it, Fennery? Is it whatever? Head of the Republican Party in Philadelphia. What are they going to do about it? Who's a voice out there? How about the suburban Republicans? Call the show. Tom DeBello, the others. You're commissioners. You're the head of this, that Republican Party all over the place. You got to go to the media with this and say, are you kidding? Because SEPTA, Dan, here we go. SEPTA is suburban urban. A lot of them are suburban that are on that board. Do something on this. Make a point here that you're not getting away with this. Go ahead.
Do you want Vince? Because I can try and get him for after the break.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Tell Vince anytime. Come on over. We'll have a drink. Yeah. I want to see if this happens, Dan. This is up there in the Krasner Lake. Hey, I've told you for years about my friend dentist and board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz and the Bentz Dental Group. He's known for helping you overcome fear and anxiety. And the state-of-the-art facility and his staff make dentistry as easy as can be. My recent visit is an example. I'm getting a cleaning tomorrow. There's no muss. There's no fuss. It's comfortable, convenient, and it gets you as a patient to buy into what are you going to do as a process to get great results. All this due to the skill and state-of-the-art of Dr. Bentz and a 3D printer. No place are you going to get your teeth done more conveniently. The Bentz Dental Group, you've heard me talk about Dr. Bentz for about 10 years. BentzDentalGroup.com, BENTZ. Make that appointment today, 610-272-6949. Visit Bentz Dental Group, 610-272-6949.
A very pleasant air mass remains in place for the next few days. Plenty of sunshine today with a high temperature below average at 77. Tonight, mostly clear, comfortable, low 57 for the city, cooler in the suburbs. And another nice day on Wednesday, plenty of sunshine with a high 79.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Upgrade your bathroom with Emmons Remodeling.
We offer custom design build renovation services to fit your style and budget. Our designers work closely with you to create the perfect space for you and your family.
Experience luxury and functionality with the expert team at Emmons.
So call us at 856-885-6677. Again, that's 856-885-6677, or visit us at callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Support the Evesham Township Police Foundation. See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, Saturday, October 26th.
It was fabulous. It was the most joyful night I have experienced in a long time. God bless America. There's hope. There is so much hope with joy and laughter.
The Frank Sinatra guy, I really liked him.
His imitation of the Bee Gees.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Saving for retirement is one thing. Making your money last? For that, you may need some help. Listen to Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, great side question today. Saturday night, I told you DJ took me to the game and his wife, and we, by happenstance, bumped into, sitting right in front of us, John Middleton, the owner of the Phillies. Couldn't have been a better example of what an owner should do. So an unexpected brush with a celebrity is a side question, but also you heard Joe, hopefully, of South Philly, talk about what he did around this and what he saw. And it seems, again, media not interested in any of this stuff, but they are interested day and night in lecturing people that are conservative or Trump supporters about election integrity. Shut up, misinformation, disinformation, nothing to see here. Even though every second of every day they're plotting to turn out any number of votes they can by any means possible, it appears. That court decision the other day, this nonsense with Kamala Harris, just a joke. You guys can't take a joke. You do it the other way and see if the federal government wouldn't be here taking down those steps for fingerprints and everything else. Are we going to find out who did it? And what about Republicans here locally? Calling on all them. Come on, they can come on the show. You have tell us what you're saying about it, doing. Demand that the media interview about this and why you think it's serious. Maybe you don't. And in Philadelphia, I don't think they want Trump to win anyhow, so they're fine with it. They'll be happy. There'll be double shots over there in Northeast Philadelphia if Trump loses. All right, let's go to Brian in Chalfont on Talk Radio 1210 on the Dom Giordano show. Sorry. Hey, Brian, welcome.
Oh, you put us on hold. He's got to go if he does.
Yeah.
Call us back, Brian.
Call us back. You had something there. Let's go to Ralph in Broomall on the side question. Who is it you bumped into, this celebrity? Ralph, who's yours? Hi.
Well, back in 1965, I worked in Palisades Amusement Park. I think I was like 17 years old. I was taking tickets to the ride, big Ferris wheel. And Walter Cronkite comes on the ride.
Walter Cronkite. Yes.
Yeah. Now, thinking, Dom, this is 60. Yeah, this is 65. So this is maybe a couple of years after, he announced to the nation, that Kennedy was killed.
Yeah. That's one of the greatest.
What was the ride?
Journalists. Yeah, what was the ride? Yeah.
It was the ride. It was the Ferris wheel. Now, this is the thing. The Ferris wheel, this was next to the outdoor stage where all the entertainment used to come on, which the second part of the story that day, these three black women come on the ride, and one of them was a short one. They were the Supremes. And I asked them, I said, are you the Supremes? And they were like, no, we're not the Supremes. And it was, because they performed that afternoon.
Oh, my God. What kind of Ferris wheel is this? We got to stake that out. Wow.
Because the Ferris, it was next to the stage, and they used to mount the camera sometimes. I'll tell you another story some other time about how they used to mount the camera, and some other celebrity came on who actually was not a nice guy. But anyway, that was Walter Cronkite. He had these 6 little kids with him. I don't know if they were his grandkids or what they were. And, if you ask me what he was like, Dom, he was like reserved and solemn.
Thank you. Yeah, that's got to be true. That can't not be true. All right, let me go to our own. This is another Scott. This is Scott of Lansdale. I thought it was Scott over in Jersey. Hey, Scott, how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I've spoken to you a few times.
Yes, Scott.
Listen, this poster thing, it goes beyond illegal acts, copyright stuff, and it's probably done by more than one person. It's kind of conspiracy to commit election fraud, which probably is a federal offense. I just wanted to add that point if you hadn't made it before.
Yeah, we have, but you're amplifying it. And you know what the more shocking thing is here, Scott, and I'll continue to say this, Where are the Republicans on this? Now, the Trump people, Linda Kearns, is one of the people that investigated this immediately and is acting on it. But the local Republicans have to be banging at the local media in every county, like the Bucks County Courier-Times and these others, to cover this and demand that the Philadelphia media and the Philadelphia police get to the bottom of this.
Absolutely agree.
Thank you, Scott. I mean, that's where the action is. Where are Republicans on this? So, Dan, afterwards, we'll powwow, and maybe you could ask a couple of them, would you like to come on and tell us, get the ball rolling here? Are they asking their local paper, Bucks County Courier-Times, are you covering this story? Do you want to know who did this? Well, that's in Philadelphia. Hey, we're dealing with Pennsylvania here. All this stuff is with Pennsylvania. And you know what Pennsylvania is? That's the road to the presidency. Could be wrong, but I don't think today that I'm wrong or have been wrong for the last 6 months. It's going to be Pennsylvania. This will determine the presidency. Come on now. How many votes? It doesn't matter. Just because you're a lawbreaker on election interference and you don't get a big score of a lot of voters voting for your person, doesn't matter. It's the criminal intent of this. They were just doing a joke here. You can't take a joke. Let's see about this. Let's see who's involved in multiple places to do this. 855-839-1210. Lightning round is next. It's time for the Rescue Natural Supplement Labor Day sale, the ultimate celebration of savings and well-being. Right now, all Rescue supplements are slashed up to 70% off. Plus, enjoy free shipping. Whether you're searching for immune support, joint care, heart health, or a youthful glow, Rescue has health essentials for everyone. Take a break, celebrate your workplace achievements with savings on a probiotic, omega-3, multivitamins, and a lot more. Call at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant, or you can shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Celebrate Labor Day with 30 to 70% off. Again, all Rescue products are slashed up to 70% off site-wide. No codes needed. Call or go to res-q.com. Get this Labor Day deal now. Start feeling like a new you with Rescue.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors, like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire-roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla, and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
The exclusive crash-proof retirement system continues to be tried, true, and proven by over 5,000 crash-proof consumers.
I am Nancy Harding. This is my husband, Robert. With the crash-proof system, we are inflation-proof.
To offset inflation, we could take more cash out. The rest of our system will continue to grow.
And at a faster rate than we take it out. It makes his sleep, hence my sleep, so much better.
Tom Herr, and this is Susan Herr, Norvon, Pennsylvania. The crash-proof system is fighting inflation for us. When prices do go up, we still have income coming in. And even though we're using money, we're still making more money. And at the end, we have more money than we started with.
We have those resources to make our life in retirement much more comfortable.
And we can sleep at night.
Yes, definitely.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding. Or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time. And now's the time to feel cool and cozy with Wawa's new pumpkin flavors. Available in milkshakes, cream smoothies, and iced coffee. Gotta have a Wawa.
Labor Day signals that fall is fast approaching. Apple picking, fall leaves, and chilly nights are on the horizon. With Legacy Box, you can cozy up and watch something special this fall. Your family's home movies. Legacy Box is the simple, safe, all-inclusive solution for preserving your family's memories trapped on videotapes, film, even photos. After 10 years in business, LegacyBox is the world's largest digitizer. They've helped over 1 million families relive their wedding days, babies' first steps, and family road trips. Just fill LegacyBox with your VHS tapes, film reels, or pictures. LegacyBox digitizes it all by hand right here in the USA, and then sends it back on a thumb drive or the cloud. Future-proof your recorded moments today so you can gather the family and begin the trip down memory lane. Plus, for a limited time, they're offering 55% off. Go to legacybox.com/value to get 55% off. That's legacybox.com/value.
Yo, Roy is Ford. What? We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
That is right. Dom's Lightning Round, sponsored by the great Cherry Hill Volvo. Right now, lease the incredibly stylish and fun-to-drive C40 for 36 months for less than $500 per month for qualified buyers. They always go the extra mile for their customers at Cherry Hill Volvo. All right, side question. Some of the people mentioned Frank Kerbeck at Ponzio's. It was great.
I love that.
Oh, God. The Vincent Price on the elevator. I was creeped out. Some guy wrote, Tony Randall asked me to push button 4. And then we had a conversation. He was there to do a spot, an ad. What a nice guy. Oh, you got to love this. You know, it might be better. Who would you like to be on that elevator with for at least a minute or two? You may not even like them just because of the interaction of what it might be like. Let's go to Tom in Percy. Tom, who are you surprised by?
So I'm a retired police officer, and back in around late 2001, I had this Cadillac blow through the traffic light, so I proceeded to stop the car. And as I approached the window, I saw these huge hands on the steering wheel and this gaudy-looking ring. And the guy says to me, "Hey, can you give an old beat-up hockey player a break?" And he hands his license. Well, it was Bill Clement. So I, check his license and sent him on his way, said, "Great meeting you." So fast forward 2002, I'm working armed security at the Salt Lake City Winter Olympics, and I was working in the E Center, which is where all the ice hockey was. So I'm walking around with another cop from another part of the country, and we're down in the press area, and Bill Clement yells over to me, "Hey, Tom, I want you to meet Bicycle Hema." I'm like, "Oh."
Great call. Great call. I don't know about condoning to let him off without the ticket. Not that we condone him. So, what the? Yeah. All right, Pat in Lehigh Valley. This is a big one. All right, Pat, who is yours?
Okay, mine is Robert Redford, way back in the day. I'm quite old. Then I was in the marketing offices of Deer Valley, which is, coincidentally, in Utah. And right next to it is the poor person's ski resort, which is
Park City, right?
I'm going to get to that.
Yeah.
Okay, but long story short, we had the poor one, Park City, which is for everybody. Deer Valley, they carry the skis for you. They will ski for you if you want them.
Hey, notice that knowledge. I picked that out of a hat, Dan. You didn't say anything. I said Park City. That was impressive. But Robert Redford is there. What's he like?
Well, no. Actually, there's a little bit more to it, and I will speed it up. True course, it's celebrity, though. I learned it last night. I asked him, "Are you who I think you are?" And he gave me the smile. But that night,
what happened?
Fabulous. Well, returning from Deer Valley on the shuttle, which all of the rank and file were coming home, the guys were saying Robert Redford happened to be there, and I heard it from more than one guy. "I'm bigger than his is." And that is the price of celebrity.
Gotcha. He said, "I'm bigger than he is"?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, well, guys, of course, Dan, if I'm taller than him, that's why I don't stand next to you anywhere. God,
Sadly, we had some of that cut out, but
yeah.
it sounded like a great story.
Yeah, it did. Dan, give me a couple.
How about Captain Noah from Arlen Tacony giving a ring to the kids? Vincent Price meeting in an elevator being creeped out from Bill in Bucks County. Joe DiMaggio giving a cold shoulder in a restaurant to Alan in Yardley. Walter Cronkite there, you heard, on a ride.
Oh, that was a hell of a story.
Grandkids. And Bill Clement recognizing Tom and Perkins years later at Utah
What's your
Olympics.
favorite?
Oh, they're all great, man. I like the Bill one. I really liked it. I just felt it was a very warm feeling. Was the Captain Noah one I thought was good, but man, the one that led off, kind of set the stage for it all, was Joe DiMaggio, and I thought that was pretty funny. We had sound effects and everything for it.
It was a heck of a call with Joe DiMaggio. A pretty big celebrity, too. Let's go with Joltin' Joe.
One more time from the audio from that situation.
Get him out! Get him out of here!
There you go. That's what Joltin' Joe said. Alan goes into the hat, and at the end of the week, only 5 days. We had one yesterday, too. We'll have a big winner. Rich Scioli is ready to go. We're on this story. We'll see if we can get some traction going with who knows what about the Kamala Harris poster. Dom Giordano's show. Rich Scioli next. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-246-0553. 800-246-0553. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-246-0553.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for president.
Texting enrolls in recurring automated text marketing messages. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply. Reply help for help or stop to opt out.
Are you drinking too much? Is alcohol affecting your relationships? Could drinking be affecting your job?
Hi, I'm Jonathan, founder of Or Health. I struggled with alcohol misuse for 15 years. I tried self-help, therapy, and traditional 12-step programs, but nothing really worked. That's why I started Or Health. Or Health provides access to safe and effective medication, FDA approved for the treatment of alcohol issues. A daily pill proven to reduce alcohol cravings and make it easier to drink less or quit.
To join the thousands who are drinking less or who have quit altogether, text CHECK to 710-710. You'll be sent a secure link to Or Health's private online assessment. If treatment is right for you, a licensed medical professional will prescribe medication